do the list in order?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Call us.
Yes, sir. This is the September 11th, 2014 meeting of the Liquor Commission. The first item on the agenda is James Trujillo and William Haltlings, Second Chance Operating Ventures LLC, trade name Sports Bar. This is located at 1400 Warner Street. This is a Class BD7, beer, wine, and liquor. License application for ownership and transfer of location, a Class BD7 again, BWL license, presently located at 406 East Baltimore Street to 1400 Warner Street. This is a request for live entertainment.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Peter Priebus on behalf of the applicants.
All right, and you're requesting a transfer from 406 East Baltimore Street to 1400 Warner Street.
Yes, sir.
And you also request for live entertainment.
Yes, sir.
All right, and is there any opposition?
No, sir.
All right, do you wish to say anything?
If the board would hear briefly, just the general idea. The location is,
Around the corner, isn't it?
it's 2 blocks down from the Raven Stadium parking off of, you have to go down Austin Street across the railroad tracks. The building used to be an antique store, Second Chance, which is now relocated on the other side of Russell Street. It's an old warehouse building that's going to be, if this is approved, it's going to substantially clean up that area, totally remodel that building. It's a one-story warehouse building. It's currently used for stadium event parking and tailgating, and they plan to put a
Swear to witness.
nightclub in.
Raise your right hands, please. You swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
And what did you want to have him say?
Mr. James Trujillo, you were one of the proposed licensees, is that correct? Yes, sir. And you've gone over the liquor license transfer application with me? Yes, sir. And everything is true and accurate on there? Yes, sir. And your qualifying city resident applicant is Mr. William Hodling, who was here with you today?
That is correct.
Mr. Hodling, you're Mr. Hodling, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And Mr. Trujillo, nothing's changed in the application, the transfer application, since you've, since it's been prepared and submitted to the board?
That is correct.
Okay. And you will be a full-time operator of this proposed establishment?
Yes, I will.
And you have prior experience in the food and beverage business?
Yes, I do.
And how long is that experience?
Pretty much my entire life.
And how long is that?
I'm 50, so I'd say about 40 years, 30 years of.
30, okay. And you also have extensive experience in construction and build-out of bars and restaurants?
Yes, sir. I managed restaurants for a long time. I became a consultant on operating. And during that time, I started doing some design work. And over the past 10 years, that's about the majority of my work is design and construction.
Okay. And you are going to undertake to renovate this property as it stands now?
Yes, sir.
And that'll include the exterior of the property?
Yes, sir.
And you will, but when that's done, you will be the full-time operator of this establishment, right?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Any
And-
questions, Commissioners?
No questions. I have one. Can you define your live entertainment?
Right now, we're just DJs.
DJs,
Yes,
is
sir.
that what you said?
Yes, sir.
You're not contemplating dance at this time?
No, I'm not.
So that's DJs with what, dancing, and how large is this place?
The entire building is 10,000, my leased space is 10,000 square feet. The building is substantially larger, and I'm looking to develop the further south 10,000 square foot portion.
So do you plan to have like paid dancing, engagement, people paying at the door coming in and that type of stuff?
The operation is twofold. One, and I submitted a floor plan for you. I don't know if the front part is a sports bar that's open every day. So there's a large center bar with a lot of seating. And basically that entertainment is very negligible. There will be some recorded music being pumped in. That's mostly broadcast television events. Some light food. I hope to expand into a full menu in the future. Then the back, and the building is evenly split, about 5,000 square feet on both sides. The back portion is another room that we plan to develop, that's multifunctional. We'll be doing private parties, catered events, that kind of thing. But as well, we'll have DJs and dancing in that back area. There'll also be a bar in the back.
It seems to be a blank, that place is too big for me to give a blank okay for entertainment. I mean, I think you might need to specify what your live entertainment is gonna be about, and whether or not we can.
I can be very specific. So on Fridays,
May I call Mr. Ellerby? He can probably answer all your questions, Chairman.
Swear the witness.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Keenan Elder,
And what is your entertainment name?
Conan.
And you currently are occupied how? Or employed how?
I do radio.
Okay.
I also do some television.
All right, and you are a DJ on 92Q?
Yes.
And how long have you done that?
20+ years.
All right. And in addition to radio, you were also a professional DJ?
Yes, I was.
And-
I did 30 and over events at Silver Shadows for about 12 years. Also did events at Mist on Friday nights, which was successful for about 2.5 years.
That was prior to Columbia?
Yes.
Okay. And you are proposing to do the DJ entertainment at this proposed establishment, is that correct?
Yes, on Friday night. 30 and over young professionals.
Okay. You are, how old are you?
I'm 50.
Okay. So your following is kind of grew up with you?
Absolutely. I would say right now my following, as the Nielsen ratings go from 25 to 54, we have about 175.
Let's go back to the commissioner's question.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So the type of entertainment that you provide, could you describe that to Commissioner Jones?
For about 12 years, the crowd that came to Silver Shadows was young professionals, dressed up. We have dress code, and those people after work will come out and have a good time.
Let's slow short. What's the capacity of the place?
The-
What's the capacity?
we don't have a capacity yet. We're anticipating around 700, 750,
For-
perhaps 600
For the entire
for
premises?
the entire premise.
For the dance, the
Back portion.
commissioner is asking, so about 300 people?
Well, I wanna know what the capacity is for, that we're granting the live entertainment for, which is 700, like you said.
Yes, sir. As explained, it'll...
Okay, I have enough information now, I'm good.
Any other questions?
Has there been any community input or any conversation with the community?
Our outreach, because this is in an industrial zone, the outreach has been to the business association, is that correct? And
Yes,
what,
we went through and asked all of our local politicians who our community association would be. And basically, we're under the understanding that there is no community association in that area, but there is the Carroll Camden Industrial Business Group, which we reached out to them. We didn't hear a response. I spoke to Delegate Pete Hammonds. He's spoken to Mr. Ferguson. We have reached out to Ed Reisinger. I spoke to Jack Young. Basically gave them a quick outline of what we're doing. So, short of any other guidance, I didn't have, that was our effort.
Right, so in looking at your application, if you've answered this, I apologize for repeating, or having you repeat it, but it asks for the purchase price of the business, and that information is
Oh, I'm
blank.
sorry, it would be zero. Yeah, there's no business there for establishing a business.
And then, all right, so source of funds,
I apologize, the purchase price of the license, but they are buying the license.
I thought so. So what is the purchase price?
50,000.
For the liquor license.
And then how is that being paid?
Cash. Conditioned upon approvals.
And then there was a request, whether or not there's any other financial assistance in order to advance the business, and what would the answer to that question be?
None necessary.
Personal savings.
And then there's a question about The full-time operator is James Trujillo,
Yes.
and
One at a time, guys.
it looks like we're asking for the employment history for the past 10 years. That's not been provided?
I'm sorry.
Can that be provided? Is there an attachment?
I thought it was on there.
No.
I don't have it.
My resume should be.
And who is the inspector that's, who's the inspector that's handling this transfer?
That would be,
Joanne Martin.
And have you been interviewed by Joanne?
Yes.
And when did that occur? Because that's not on the application either.
That's on 8/11, she conducted the interview. 8/11/14.
All right, and then we have the information on the employment history. Is that
Yes.
available? All right, thank you.
We had, some of the confusion might have been that we had submitted to purchase another license, and that deal never went through, so we withdrew it.
Okay,
And that might have been the confusion on that. I may have
okay.
put the
All right.
wrong thing in the wrong place, I'm sorry. Mr.
Thank
Trujillo's
you.
been barroom builder since 2005.
All righty. What did he do in 2004?
I was another contracting company. I've pretty much been self-employed since '95.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, I'm going to divide the vote into two parts. First, for the transfer from 406 East Baltimore Street to 1400 Warner Street, I vote yes.
I vote yes.
Yes, transfers, yes.
All right, the second vote is to, the request for live entertainment, I vote yes.
I vote no, based on the size of the business and no specifics on what type of entertainment he wants to have there. My answer is no.
I vote yes.
All right, you have your result.
Thanks, sir.
All right, call the next case.
The next item.
You know why it's split the vote.
Ready?
Yes. The next one is Lonnie Abdullah, Bernard Truesdale. This is Issue Palms Inc., trade name The Loop, 4238 Frederick Avenue. This is a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license, a request to add outdoor table service.
Record Melvin J. Knaski, 19 East Bay Street, representing the applicants. This is an application to add outdoor table service to an existing location. They've been there 7 years. They talked and reached out to the community. I'll submit as our exhibit number 1, Mr. Chairman. About 100 names from people in the community. They have a food operation that they have put a lot of money in. The actual area that they're going to use is right behind the establishment. Here are a couple pictures of the courtyard, and then the outside along the side street for outdoor table service. They talked with the council person, Ms. Holton, and they have an open dialogue. Originally, we were going to request live entertainment. However, the community seemed to have some pushback on it, so they're not even trying to request the live entertainment at this place. They are just requesting the outdoor table service.
Yeah, it's a different
I do have a-
elevation.
If you really want to take a look at it, what their type of, and I got more of these. So sometimes not, and one for the other commissioner, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
All right, these exhibits are admitted as collectively as Exhibit 1. Go ahead.
And that would be the sum and substance of the request for the outdoor table
Do you
service.
wish to present any testimony?
You want to just give your name and address very quickly?
Swear the witnesses.
Okay.
Raise your right hands. Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
State your name and address for the record.
Bernard Truesdale, 4238 Frederick Avenue.
And was the information I'm giving to the board, is that true and correct?
Yes.
And along with that, you have been active in meeting with the community, is that correct?
Yes.
And in fact, you have another follow-up meeting with them in the next couple of weeks?
Yes, that's correct.
And along with that, you've been there for 7 years?
Yes.
Never had any problems?
Never.
All right, and the place has been there for a long time, correct?
I believe since 1920.
Yeah, it's right across from Mount St. Joe, as they call it. It was a loop because it was a streetcar loop.
Yes.
Okay. I'm the,
I have here, you're not in good standing with respect to your license. What are we talking about?
That's as far as your SDAT, you'll
I don't handle the corporate thing, but I'll look into
will you
that for
make
you.
sure that is.
I
taken
have,
care of?
we're paid up.
Okay, so we'll just need. proof of
Present,
that.
present a certificate.
Perfect.
Okay. This is sales and use tax. You're talking about SDAT.
SDAT, yes. We'll need to take care of that before this can be
Sure.
completed.
Before you get in front of me.
Question?
No questions.
All right, I vote approval.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you have your result?
And we'll submit the,
Was this for us to keep? You can keep that one. Oh, this is mine. Oh,
It's yours to keep.
wow.
Call the next case.
Yes, sir. It is Fared Zaman, Z Corp. LLC. This is trade name 1211. 1224, excuse me. 1224 North Charles Street, a Class B beer, wine, and liquor. License application for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor restaurant under the provisions of Rule 2.08, requiring for $200,000 in capital investment in restaurant fixtures and facilities and a seating capacity for a minimum of 75 people. Request for outdoor table services and off-premises catering.
for the record, Melvin J. Knansky, representing the applicant. In this case, this is an application for a new license previously submitted to the board. Should be in your package, the seating capacity, the proposed menu, and also a recap on the capital expenditures broken down between these various categories. The amount of capital invested is going to be $559,400. That's over above the $200,000. We have seating for 75 seats, the outdoor seating, and there's also a proposed menu. I can resubmit those and make those as exhibits. I think I had submitted to the executive secretary the other day. I'm
Yes, sir.
going to have those marked as exhibits. And along with that,
They're all in already.
Yes, they are.
just want to make sure. And along with that, we've met with the people in the area. We have about 285 names that have signed it to agree. And in addition to that, he met with Mr. Steve Johnson of the Mount Vernon Belvedere Mount Vernon Association. And
Well, which one? That Mount Vernon Belvedere is the name.
yeah, Mount Vernon Belvedere. There's Midtown Belvedere. I don't know if they even still exist, but Mount Vernon Belvedere. And Steve Johnson is the head of the, he said he may send a letter in.
I have it,
Okay.
and I'll review it and give it to the fellow commissioners. We're just now getting it. Go ahead. Now, let me ask you a question. This is a brand-new license, and how much money has actually been spent up to now?
Up to now?
Yeah.
You can, wait a minute.
I swear the witness.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
State your name and address for the record.
Ahmed Ramanian, 3505 Hanging Road.
And your last name is spelled Zamanian.
That's correct.
Okay, and what's my answer to my question?
And so far, I spent over $300,000.
Actually out of pocket.
Yes.
All right. Go ahead. Do you have any questions?
And the menus and everything I've submitted, that's, true and correct, is that right?
That's correct.
And you have experience in the food and alcohol business?
That's correct.
Questions, Commissioner?
I'd just like to know what communication there has been with the community where this will be located. All we have is the Mount Vernon Belvedere. Is that it? Is that's the sum and substance of
That's the
the?
association.
of the
plus
communication?
285 people in the area signed.
So one of the things that I observed from the signatures is a lot of them are very similar. They're from the same address. What's located at 1214 North Charles Street?
1224, 1214, that is all apartment business. There are a lot of people there living.
Okay, and what's located at 1209 North Charles?
That is, again, they are residential.
Okay. So I mean, you've got quite a few signatures, but it always alerts me when a lot of the signatures look alike, and they're all sequential. So, for like example, 1220 North Charles, there's 5 in a row that are the same handwriting.
That is-
What's
there
going
was
on
a-
there?
There was a family,
Uh-huh.
and the mother was writing for everybody.
Okay.
And they came there, and they said they are very happy, they're gonna support me 100%. And she wrote everybody's name and put the address right there.
Did you talk to them first?
Yes.
Okay.
It was all good. They were very excited, something new is coming to the community.
Okay. My last question is, do you have receipts for any of the expenditures that you've incurred so far? Do you have receipts? Any invoices, any
He don't have
statements?
with him, but he does have them.
I have received, I don't have it with me.
You don't have it
What?
with you?
I have all the, I can provide all the checks that I wrote to the contractors.
All right, is that
And-
something that we can start having included with our applications or to support? Because it's one thing to put it on a piece of paper and say that it is so, and it's a whole nother thing to actually see a check or a receipt or an invoice.
See,
So
the
if you
problem
could do
is you're
that.
not buying a bar. You're not buying a license. You're getting it under the code with respect to expenditures. And it's a question of whether or not that the application says you've spent sufficient monies to equal the code requirement, or whether the money's actually been spent. And that's, I think, the purpose of the question.
You're correct, because as an example, we did Applebee's on Reisterstown Road. It's a $2 million build-out. They would not invest $2 million until the board approved it. Then the board asked, they would give them receipts saying, before you pick the license up, we actually, spent this money to build it out.
So whatever happened with Applebee's on Reisterstown Road, we'll deal with that separately. I'm just saying, I mean, I just need to see verification.
No, I don't
Okay.
understand it, but if the rule's gonna be that, before they pick the license up, they provide the verification, I don't have any problem with that,
Okay.
because they have to do that.
Okay,
Is that what you want?
yes.
And staff can, we can make
Yes.
sure that we collect that information.
Okay, great.
All right, I vote yes with the requirement that the receipts be provided before the license is obtained.
I agree.
I agree.
You have your decision.
Thank you.
All right, call the next case.
Okay, CNL Canton LLC, trade name Canton House Bar and Tavern. This is at 1506 South Canton Avenue. This is a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license, application for a transfer of ownership.
Is it Skating House or and that's for the other one?
Oh, the other one?
Crossing.
Oh, sorry.
All right,
Skating House, sorry.
We're doing
1506, yes.
1506.
Oh, sorry.
Jacob 19 East Bay Street, representing the applicant. This is an application to transfer existing BD7. The applicant, in this case, Ms. Lee, is purchasing both the property and the business for, about $2 million. The other individual here, Mr. Saunders, has been on the license. He's going to stay on the license to help her. He's also going to serve as a city resident. She's taking the alcohol awareness course, which I will submit as a copy of the application. So there's a place where she'll probably have somewhere between 6 to 8 employees. She'll be in the premises at all times, taking the alcohol awareness course, and the area is basically in an industrial area, very good, this area on Caton Avenue, so there are no community groups that are,
all right, and there's no opposition as far as you
no
know.
opposition.
Do you wish to present any testimony?
No further testimony without property.
Okay, questions, Commissioner?
So just so I'm clear, Kevin Saunders,
Yeah.
and you're currently on the license?
Correct.
And you're going to stay on the license?
Correct.
Okay.
Any other questions? None? I vote yes.
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 You have your decision. Call the next case.
This is Canton, yes, sir.
This is the one.
Yeah, that's the one with the letter. Sorry.
I have that letter.
Yes, you have the letter. Thank you. Mike. Canton Crossings Wine and Spirits LLC, trade name Canton Crossings Wine and Spirits. This is at 3831 Boston Street. This is a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license. Application to transfer ownership from a BD7 beer, wine, and liquor presently located at 105 South Cockling Street to 3831 South Boston Street.
For the record, Melvin J. Kadensky representing the applicant. The board may or may not remember, this was a license at 105 that had some problems up in Hollandtown, that they asked for an extension so they could sell it to move it. They've then made arrangements to go down to the Canton Crossing where they have a 6-day D license. They've met with the Canton Improvement Association. You should have a letter, which make an exhibit that came in. I have an extra copy here. I think you said you got it. Okay. So the Canton Improvement Association is in favor of the transfer. They will then turn their D license into further disposal in case somebody wants to buy it. This is in the Canton Crossing Shopping Center.
Let's see if I have this straight. This license is in existence,
Correct.
and you're transferring it around the corner, actually. I mean,
Down the street. It was up in Conklin and Mount Pleasant, and it's going down to Canton, Clinton and Boston.
so your new address will be 3831 Boston Street.
Correct.
And with the existing license.
And they're going to turn that one in. It's a 6-day D. They're going to make it a 7-day BD7 now.
So the one at 3831 is going to be turned in, and this new license is going to take its place?
Correct. And they're going to dispose of the D possibly in the shopping center for somebody else.
So what are you asking us to do today?
Transfer to BD7.
All right. Questions, commissioners?
None?
No questions?
Anything
No,
else?
no.
I vote yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Now, I just want to explain to you one thing before you
Oh,
finish.
wait, maybe,
That Diana called, just delivered a baby yesterday, a baby girl,
who?
the licensee.
Oh,
This is the
Wonderful.
manager, so it was a blessed event that happened, and here's the second blessed event.
wonderful. Give her our congratulations.
I hope you off the record on that, yeah.
It's on the record. The baby's here, I can't make it go back.
No, you can't. You can do many things, Mr. Kadensky, but not that.
All right, please.
Mark Anders and Bryson Keene, Roy's of Baltimore LLC, trade name Roy's. This is at 720B Alciano Street. This is a this is a Class B beer, wine, and liquor request out at Outdoor Stable Service.
Yes. Good morning, Commissioners. For the record, Nicholas J. Callis. I represent the applicant before you. To my right is Bryson Keynes, who is a licensee and also serves as the qualifying resident applicant. Roy's has been in business at this location for 13 years. Mr. Keynes has been the manager of the location for 10 years. Our business hours are till 10 p.m. During the week and 10:30 p.m. during the weekend. Those hours of service will continue.
What would the hours be on the outside table service?
So we're going to do between 10 and 10:30. Mr. Keynes, we'll have him testify, so he's aware that, all alcohol must be off the table by 10:30, so.
Swear the witness.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Bryson, state your full name
Bryson Lane Keynes,
and where do you reside?
1141 Hull Street, Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay. And you are a licensee and also the qualifying resident applicant for Roy's of Baltimore LLC, is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
How long have you been at Roy's?
15 years with the company, 10 years at this location.
At this location. At this location, you heard me represent to the board what your operating hours are, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and with respect to the outdoor service, those operating hours will continue, is that correct?
That is correct.
Would you tell the board what you envision in terms of the time for alcohol service on the exterior service that you're requesting the board to approve?
4:30 to 10 on the weekdays, and then 4:30 to 10:30 on Friday and Saturday night.
And-
4:30 to 10 on weekdays. Friday is a weekday?
I'm sorry, I apologize, on Sunday through Thursday.
And then Friday and Saturday what?
Till 10:30, 4:30 to 10:30.
All right. Go ahead, sir.
Sir, I'd like to introduce Exhibit 1, which shows the outline of the proposed outdoor service. This location of the outdoor service has been approved by Planning Commission, also has been submitted to the Board of Estimates. All of the applicable agencies, fire, police, building, electrical, traffic, have all approved. We're waiting for the permit issued by the Board of Estimates, which should be in their upcoming meeting within 2 weeks.
No opposition?
No opposition, sir.
Questions, Commissioner?
None?
no questions. Just, what is Roy's? Is that?
Roy's
It's
is a,
restaurant,
it-
right?
yes, it's
Yeah.
an Asian restaurant. If I may, I'll put it on the record. Roy's- This is good advertising for you.
Oh.
What type of restaurant operation is
We
it?
do Hawaiian fusion cuisine with an emphasis on Japanese and Hawaiian food.
And it's a true restaurant, is it not, Bryce?
Absolutely.
And your food, your alcohol to food service is what percent?
71 to 29.
And for the majority of that, 29% is wine?
Yes.
So my daughter used to work at Fleming's.
Right next door.
Okay, right next door. Okay, all right, I know you.
And I
Or
have
at least the location.
a picture to show you the outdoors of the premises and the area, the
These are all the
surrounding area.
same.
Exhibit number
Oh,
2
no.
is the surrounding
Oh, and there's
area.
my daughter.
Exhibit number 3 shows, there's ample space with respect to the service, proposed service. With respect to the exterior of the premises, this document, you will have a stanchion separating your tables from the public walkway, is that correct? And how were you going to control service, alcohol service to the exterior of the premises, right?
Server and server assistant out in the area at all times, plus the wall would actually be open between the bar and the...
And there's no service other than through the premises, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Anything else?
So you
Any
said,
other questions?
you said there are going to be stanchions to separate the outdoor
Yes.
Yes.
service? Because right now, there's the Irish restaurant
On the other side.
on the very end has outdoor service, and it's all literally bricked and
There'll be
steel separation.
pots,
It's planters and then fencing. It's much like the Brio Tuscan grills fences.
Yeah, and it becomes important because there's only so much sidewalk space.
Correct. And we want to make sure that there's a definite separation between the pedestrian walkway
And
and
there's-
the restaurant.
You're saying there's no opposition to this?
No.
There's, and
Bryson,
do
you
folks know that it's coming? Is it-
Yes.
Oh,
It's
yes.
been,
Yes.
okay.
Bryson,
Absolutely.
maybe,
Everybody's talking to each other.
That's true, I'm contributing. Just so I'm clear, has this been posted, or people aware
Yes.
that this is in the
Bryson,
process?
tell the board what you did in terms of notification of the surrounding property owners and the residential communities.
We went around and we spoke with both James Joyce and the Flemings, and as well as J. Crew Anthropology, and the two neighborhood associations for Spinnaker Bay and The View, to make certain that they were aware that we were putting out outdoor seating, and we received no questions or opposition to that.
Okay, all right, thank you.
No other questions? I vote yes for outdoor service from 4:30 to 10 on weekdays, which is Sunday through Thursday, and Friday, 4:30 to 10:30.
I agree.
Friday and Saturday, right?
Friday and Saturday, you're absolutely correct, 4:30 to 10:30.
Thank you, sir.
You have your decision.
Thank you.
Call the next case.
He'll be back.
Giovanni Julian, secured creditor. This is at 6589-91 St. Helena Avenue. This is a Class BD7, beer, wine, and liquor. Request for hardship extension under provision 2B-10-504D.
St. Thomas Avenue?
St. Helena.
That one is gone. That one has been removed.
Okay. St. Louis. All right.
For the record, Melvin J. Kanansky, 19 East Fayette Street, representing the secured creditor in this case. This is a request, the applications to transfer this license from the secured party to other individuals at this location were not successful. In fact, the property has been sold and will not be used as a tavern anymore. The zoning for a tavern has fallen through. The secured creditor just wants to have time so he can go ahead and recoup whatever expenses he has and sell the license to be moved out of the St. Helena area.
Well, according to what I have here, if this is true, this was filed on the 11th of July, 2014, which is the third request. The previous requests were October 13th, 2013, and the 4th of April, 2014. And according to the documents, there's no such luck on the transfer. It's direct quote, and obstacles out of control, direct quote. We do not have a prospective buyer. Is that all true?
At this location, he's finally sold the property at a loss, and now needs to move on and try to recoup his money to sell the license somewhere else.
Well, I think that's the third request. Any questions, Commissioner?
Can I just add for the record, he's a secure party in this case, which means that our position was, legally, and I think we submitted things to the board, that 10504 doesn't apply to secure parties because they never open to close, so they don't technically come under 504. 504 that we maintain, and some of the attorneys who have submitted briefs to the board previously, is that in people in bankruptcy, secure creditors, and contract purchasers, none of which operate establishments, would come under 10504, as well as a bank or a financial institution to be able to sell their particular asset, in this case, is in which the individual wants to do.
Well, but the liquor board is not in the position of enforcing debts or paying debts or securing debts. We have here an extension request and not for anything else.
That's correct, so, and when he's able, I'll take some testimony.
All right, swear the witnesses.
Raise your right hands. Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You can use that microphone. State your name and address.
Giovanni Julian, 814 Leeswood Road.
And you're the secure party here, is that correct?
That is correct.
And you had had this license at that location, and all the prior transfers that were there have failed, is that correct?
Yes, for one reason or another.
And then also the zoning has failed to resurrect it as a tavern, is that correct?
Yes.
And along with that, you sold the property at a loss?
Yes, just very recently, actually.
And this is the last asset that you have as a secure party, is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
And you want to ask the board for an opportunity to be able to move this license out of the location, is that correct?
Yes, please.
Well, he has a location of negative zoning, so he doesn't have a location.
No, not here, out of this location.
On St. Helena.
Yeah, he wants to move it out of St. Helena.
I'm probably one of the few people here that know exactly where that is. A little narrow strip of the city stretching down.
And you're a couple blocks here in the county.
Yeah, that's right, next to Dundalk Avenue. Ma'am, you're here today. Your name?
My name is Shirley Gregory. I'm the
Have you been
president.
sworn?
I'm the president of the St. Helena Community Association.
And you have been sworn?
Yes, yes, sir.
I'd be glad to hear from you.
Great, thank you. Yes, Shirley, Shirley. This particular bar, it was
Who are you representing again, please?
the St. Helena Community Association.
Okay.
This bar was actually closed in October of 2011 and has never opened its doors since. It was closed due for electric reasons. The owners that were in there did not pay their electric bill. Their electric got turned off. They got locked up for smoking in the bar. There was all kinds of problems with it. And the last time the extension was asked was in April 4th, 2013 for a 90-day extension, which was, as you stated, was their third hardship case. And I also have documentation showing that it went to zoning and it was closed due to non-conforming use, and that was determined on May 1st, 2014. And then recently, now it's up for auction. So I don't know,
Your license or what?
no, the actual building itself is up for auction,
I
so.
thought you
He said he sold it, yeah.
The building has been sold. What the other party plans to do with it, if they plan to auction it, that is their own
Right.
intention. I am no longer a part of this. My name should not be on there.
And then this is the documentation showing that the electric was turned off in 2011. But I understood that once the license and the bar had been shut down, that was the end of the license as well. That's the way I understood this. I'm not an attorney, so I can only go by certain things. But I had here that it was because of non-conforming use, the tavern had been discontinued and abandoned. And that, as I stated, from October of 2011, that the liquor license extended period has been already past its period of way past the 90 days from the third
You want us
request.
to do what?
I would prefer the license just to be killed. That's our opinion.
Do you have any questions of the witness?
Would you oppose him trying to move the license to another location?
We don't want to see the license go back in St. Helena? No, so I understand. Out of Dundalk, out of St. Helena, because there's a city-county
No,
line.
I got it. It's out of Dundalk.
The Community Association stated they would not like to see the license get renewed and moved on. This has been a problem for this community, and we don't want to see the same problem go in someone else's community. That's the way we're looking at it.
Commissioners, questions?
I have one.
Yes.
What's your name, sir? Giovanni. Mr. Giovanni, when did the zoning board deny the request to use the location to continue to use the location for our bar? May 1st of this year?
And
So you actually started trying to sell the license after May 1st or prior to?
I tried to sell the establishment as a package deal. It was the license in conjunction with the property. We had a buyer. I remember there was a period where the board was actually not meeting for a month, and it got delayed, pushed back. When it finally did meet, they said that we needed to take care of the zoning before the liquor license would be transferred. And then when we finally went in front of the zoning board, that had gotten shot down. And then at that point, the buyer had no interest in continuing the agreement. So from that point on, I kind of had to make a decision here. So at that point, I had to try and recoup something, sell the building, try and see if I could part with the license and something.
let me indicate,
May I say something on his, what he just commented on, sir? The actual, them trying to sell the building and all actually took place way after the non-conforming use was over. In other words, the time period had lapsed for their non-conforming use. I forget what the days are that you have to be closed. I think it's 180 days. Am I correct?
no.
Is it, how many days is it?
Go ahead.
Yeah, anyway, so this is the way I understand it, they had been closed. They closed in 2011, and in 2013, which is 2 years later, they're trying to sell the business. So we're not talking like it closed its doors and 3 months later they're trying to sell the business. We're talking 2 years later that they're trying to sell the business.
Any questions?
Thank you. Sir, Mr. Julian, how are you related to Doug Julian?
My father.
That's your father?
Correct.
Okay. So I have a note that it looks like this license stopped being used on September 21, 2010. The establishment was closed for a couple of reasons. One was no electricity. The health department shut down the facility.
What happened is his dad foreclosed on the prior owner and had to go ahead and get a deed in lieu of foreclosure to get the property back, and then it was transferred to him as a secured creditor.
The property was,
And the license was secured and was transferred as a secured creditor.
but the license was not used. The license has not been used since September 21,
And
2010.
I don't know if that's exact. I know it's been renewed and paid for up through 12 or 13 as a secured creditor. And as recently as of June 24, 2013, there was an application that was filed to transfer the license, and there was a hearing before the board, and the new parties were turned down, and as a result of which they went through the zoning, and the zoning application was on May 2014, turned down.
Anything else?
So there was, am I right, there was a hardship extension October 13, 2013? Is that right?
I don't have the dates in front of me. I believe it was the one before,
Yes.
and then that's when they put the,
Okay.
October 18, 2012, there was a, there have been a
There've been-
few hardship extensions,
Okay.
yeah. There was,
All right.
this is the third one. The first
Okay.
one was in October, and the second one was in April 2014.
Okay, thanks. All right, that's it.
Anything else? All right, time for decision. Anything else, sir?
no, other than the factual scenario that went through, and that, as a secure creditor, you would not be tunneled, that's a legal situation.
Now, the question before the board today is, of course, a hardship extension, which I vote no, and the legal effect of it is to kill the license.
I
vote
join.
no.
I vote no as well.
All right, you have our decision. Call the next case.
Nimesh Shah and Darlene McNeil. Omikar Inc., this is at this is trade name Hillen Liquors, 5818 Hillen Road. This is a Class A beer, wine, and liquor license. Request for a hardship extension under Article 2B, 10504D.
For the record, Melvin J. Clancy, representing the applicant. This applicant first request for a hardship extension. The last time this license was used was February 28, 2014. The property was taken by the Balmer Gas and Electric Company. They bought the property, and all the tenants had to leave. There was a prior application before the board, if you remember, to transfer it to 4419. Was turned down, and at that time, Councilman Henry indicated that he would, on behalf of the community, try to help the applicant here find another location. In fact, it's called several times. I think there's arrangements made for the applicant to get together with Councilman Henry and actually try to ride around. He called me one time and said that one of the areas was not good, and that he would try to ride around with him and find another location as a result of him being displaced. This is the last asset they have from Omikar Inc. at the liquor store. They were there for many years, and they want to go ahead and relocate.
All right, swear the witness.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Now, I have a question. When the Gas and Electric Company condemned this Loch Raven Shopping Center, did you receive full price for your, were you the owner of the bar at that time? Liquor store, I mean. You were. Did you receive, as a part of the condemnation, full price for your,
I just don't know his name, so I gotta make sure I
oh,
got his
give
name.
us your name, sir.
Okay. Just wanna make sure.
And did you get my question?
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
When the shopping center, when the Gas and Electric Company condemned your business, in effect through the processes of law, giving you no choice but to pull out, to get out, did you receive full price in the condemnation for your business, bar, and location?
No, I didn't.
Did you receive nothing?
No, because my lease was over.
You say that again?
My lease was over.
I see. How about the other lessor that got nothing? Or did they?
I mean, they might have, I don't know.
But you didn't get anything from them?
No.
There was nothing transferred? All right, any questions of commissioners?
Just one, did you receive any compensation from BGE for having to move your business? Did you receive any money?
No.
Did you receive any, anything of value at all from BGE?
Nothing
Or
whatsoever.
anyone?
Nothing.
Because you had to move your business? You did not?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else, sir?
No.
Any other questions? None?
None.
I vote yes.
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 Thank you very much.
1 second, I can catch up there. How many votes?
Oh, 3 vote yes. This goes with, we clean up a little. This is the one.
That was extra, those are extra copies.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to get back to him.
Okay. Call the next case.
Okay. Erica Lasker, Sally Embrew. This is Langerman's on Light Street. Langerman on Light, that's at 1542 Light Street, a Class BD7, beer, wine, and liquor. Review of transfer for more than pending more than 180 days. I believe this item's going to be withdrawn. Mr. Priebus is here. I believe he just walked out for a second. Hold on one second.
Take your time, Mr. Priebus. It's okay. So we called your case.
Langerman on Light Street.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That pending transfer application is being withdrawn. The license is still viable. The deal's not going through.
All right, so it's withdrawn. Now all business with the board's completed.
Thank you, sir.
Call the next case.
Thank you, Mr. Priebus.
That needs to go over. The last secure question, Julian. Gus Zismos, Evangelos, Zismos, thank you.
I'm not on the record. I'm
Okay.
on the record.
Okay. Gus Zismos and Evangelos Inuo Kitsos, and that is at LLC Zismos Bar, 1023 West 36th Street. That is a Class BD7, beer, wine, and liquor. Review of a transfer pending more than 180 days.
And your name,
Blue
sir?
Angels.
My name is Evangeline. All right, swear the witness.
Raise
It's
your
got to
right
be
hand.
the Blue Angels.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to
On
give
this
will
day
be
of
the
all
truth,
days.
the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir, can you tell us what's going on here? I mean, you came before the board for a transfer and was approved in 2012, but you never completed it.
Yeah, what transpired was, in November of 2012 is when it was approved by the board. Had a conversations with people at the liquor board, and I explained to them that I was working with an architect at the time and was planning and designing a major renovation to the facade of the bar. My architect was Don Smith, so I was advised at the time that it would probably be, at that point, best to go ahead and do the modifications to the facade, which also affected the entryway to the bar, and then to complete the inspections. So that was the advice that was given to me at the time. So in December of 2012, I submitted architectural plans and everything needed for permitting. And then in January, I ran into a problem. The fire marshal was requiring a sprinkler system. So I sought the advice of my architect and my general contractor. They felt strongly that the three different criteria that applied to necessitating a sprinkler system didn't apply to my bar. So we kind of had quite a few meetings with John Carr. We presented some options. We presented some, all of which were rejected by John. And basically, we reached the one-year point where the time frame expired for me. So in the spring, I submitted new plans to zoning, and I stayed with the original footprint of the bar, and we completed everything in July. I had frequent visits for fire marshals, so I was having conversations with the fire marshals that oversee the bar, and I had conversations. I was definitely impressed.
We're now in July 2013,
2014.
2014.
Yeah, so we went the entire year of 2000. We went from December of 2012 to December 2013. The time frame expired, and then in the spring of 2014, I submitted new plans. Then I became aware of the facade improvement grant, so that held things up a little bit. I was approved for the facade improvement grant. We redid the facade. We completed it in July. I was away for all of August.
So what's the status right now?
Status right now is that it's been inspected, and I was told yesterday by the liquor board to bring everything down. My use and occupancy specifies that it's been inspected for live entertainment. My fire permit has been inspected with the understanding that there's live entertainment.
Present whatever you want to present. What's this? What is this you're giving me?
It's a fire permit
Mhm.
and use of occupancy. I went before zoning in 2009. I was approved for.
You need these back?
Yes, sir.
Is Zissimo still a partner?
That's my father.
Mhm. So you're asking the board to do what?
I'm coming to the board to see what you want me to do to be in compliance. Does it necessitate health department inspections, fire marshal inspections?
What happened in the year from 2013 to 2014? A whole year went by.
Well, the whole year went by, and there's three different criteria that the fire marshal can insist upon a sprinkler system being installed.
All
And-
these things, were they concerned with entertainment, or they just required busy operation, general operation of your establishment?
My impression from the fire marshal was it had absolutely nothing to do with the live entertainment. It was specific to the modifications to the building that we had hoped to do.
Did you do a total rehab?
No, sir, we stayed with the footprint.
You did what?
We stayed with the original footprint.
You meant stay with the footprint, but did you do a gut out and rehab the
No,
house?
the only thing we did basically was we did new signage, new window, new doors, and stayed with the original footprint. It was a lot of work, but it was just the original.
So what are you asking us to do?
Yeah, I wanted a copy.
If there is a requirement of me to have inspectors follow up I need to have live entertainment, that is my liquor license.
Right.
But you've already gone way past the 180 days that you received originally, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
And you're actually 3 years past it.
Yeah.
It's, questions, commissioners? No questions?
No.
I vote no.
No.
I vote no.
To get it, you have to reapply for the live entertainment, and then we'd have to put it back through the process again. But just since you have everything else done,
Okay,
it would be
advise them
afterwards.
privately, they're not lawyers. All right, call the next page.
See if you can explain something. Thank you. Sorry. Dilawar Qatar and Jasner Qatar, India Rasuli, 411 South High Street. This is a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license. Beer, wine, and liquor license. Request to reopen after 90 days being closed.
For the record, Melvin J. Kaminsky, with East Basket, representing the applicants. These are licensees, they've been licensees in Little Italy for 14 years. They were trying to move to Broadway. The executive secretary and myself, we were able to determine that they could not do that because there was a school within 300 feet. As a consequence of which they still own the property at 411 South High Street. They're now requesting to reopen at that location. They've talked to the neighbors. I'll show you the list of people who've signed. They're from High Street, Still Street, Fawn Street. All their neighbors are in favor of them reopening.
I see here, request for, it's been closed for only 9 days?
90?
Oh, 90, so it's
Over
a,
90.
I thought I read 9 in there.
No. The rule is that if you're closed over 90 days, you have to ask the board's permission to reopen.
Any opposition? None?
No, in fact, we had almost everybody in the Little Italy community are in favor because they had been there for 14 years.
All right, exhibit 1 for the, it's been offered. Questions, commissioners?
None.
How long have they been closed?
That's, I don't know exactly how long, because they were opening, they had an application in to move to 108, and then they came back. It's probably been maybe more than 90 days.
A little bit more than 90 days.
I think the executive secretary has it.
Any other questions?
Has it been 180 days?
No, it has not been 180
Okay.
days.
Okay.
No, it's been under that, but this has been closed because they were working on an open transfer
Right,
that was
right.
rejected.
Okay.
So yes, they have been open within the last 180.
All right.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Vote yes.
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 Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You got it. You got it.
I'll be
ready?
I'll be right back.
Bankers going.
No.
That's it.
Is that it?
That's it till 1 o'clock.
All right, we stand adjourned till 1 o'clock.
Can I eat today? One, like 1?
It's, what do you want to make it? 1 o'clock? Okay, stand adjourned at 1.
Is it going to be 1 or?
1 o'clock. Go ahead.
Just so that they know for television. This is the 1 o'clock PM docket of the September 11th Baltimore City Liquor Commission. The first item is a violation case. Dennis Everett, Duwan Yi, Peterson Wine and Spirits. This is trade name Apple Tree Liquors. This is located at 4159 Patterson Avenue. This is a Class A beer, wine, spirits liquor license. I've got 3 violations to read. The first,
Waive the reading of violations. We'll make it admissions for the record. Melvin J. Kaminsky representing the licensee in the case.
Does that include admitting the facts that we'll read into
And
evidence?
I've talked with the agent, we just have some things in mitigation we would say.
All right, you read the facts into the record, please.
sure, this is a violation of Article 2B, Section 12-107. It's an incident that happened on July 16th, 2014, when an inspector from the comptroller's office found 11 bottles of 3.75 milliliter Hennessy reported stolen from a city truck in Baltimore City. The second violation is a violation of Rule 410-A. This is the wholesalers rule. This is on, again, July 16th, 2016. An inspector from the comptroller's office found 11 bottles again of Hennessy, and they were reported from a truck stolen in Baltimore City. The
All right,
last-
stop right here. What's the difference between 4.10 and Article 2B, Section 12.078?
One is our rule, and the other one is the state law, sir. That's the reason.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
And then the last one is a violation of Liquor Board Rule 4.18, just a commission of any act against the law, and that is on, again, July 16th, 2014, when the comptroller's office inspector found the licensee did not keep complete and accurate records, so that is our records rule.
All right, any additions or corrections?
There's no additions or corrections, just in way of mitigation.
Wait a minute,
I'm sorry.
any questions, Commissioner?
None.
None?
I'm just curious, where did the bottles come from?
It was stolen, whole trailer load.
Right, how did they end up at this at Apple Tree?
The agent and I were talking, he's not the only person. They stole, 2,200 cases of Hennessy from Hale Transport. They were trying to dump what they can. We feel most of it went to New York, because New York has a much higher tax rate, so they get enough, extra money so they can buy gas, and they take the rest of it up to New York and dump it.
Yeah, I mean, we've had 3 prior cases from this incident, but I'm wondering, how did these bottles end up at Apple Tree?
Well, basically, in the statement of facts, if somebody comes in, they say they have it, they take it around the back, and they say, here's a case, I think it's 12 in a case, and they offer it to them at half of what the price would be. I mean,
Okay. So is that what happened in this situation? So what happened, okay.
And they seized it, he doesn't have it back, and then I talked with the agent, he was cooperative, is that correct? And he helpful?
All right, so did he actually buy a case of 12, but there were only 11 found on the shelf?
He sold.
He sold one? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that
And
explains.
then actually, the tax that the controller would have lost as a result is like $10.
Very
A very small amount of tax.
Yeah.
But that's the.
It's not the tax, it's the taking.
Yeah, and the way I think the chairman asked the question, we like to argue the rule of merger there, but he's making an admission. He's not.
Okay.
Been there since 2008. He had got
Okay.
involved in something earlier with a poker machine, got rid of them. So
Okay.
other than that, he knows, don't try to make a fast buck.
All righty, thank you very
With respect
much.
to these charges, I find that the charges are founded and that he's responsible. And I am going to merge first and second. With respect to record, we have here that you've already mentioned it, Rule 4.15, is it gambling? What was that?
He had a poker machine earlier, in January, and then it was a payoff, and then as soon as that happened, he got rid of the machine.
All right, and then we have 4.18 again, records. What was that about?
They didn't have records to prove that he bought them, that pushed the
I'm
whole,
talking about the record back in
it's the same.
2014.
January 30, 2014, the 2 prior violations.
Yeah, I don't need to handle that one, but the records is normally be records of purchases you're supposed to keep for 2 years.
So you don't know what 4.18 in 2013?
Well, 4.18 is a catch-all. When you
2014.
violate a statute, which would be the other 2.
Right.
No, you're missing. With respect to his prior record as a licensee in the city of Baltimore, there's 2 prior foundations of guilt. One was gambling, he told me about it, and the other is 4.18, that he was fined $625 fine for some sort of happening. What?
The 4.15 is the gambling. The 4.18 is the catch-all that picks the gambling up.
It's illegal action,
Yeah.
which is what 4.18 is,
So
illegal
actually
action.
the same thing.
Yeah, it's another merger issue.
All right, now we'll listen to you with respect to mitigation.
Basically, he was cooperative, admitted it to the agent, and he said it's most helpful. He forfeited, of course, the things, and I think that it's not a kind of case where you see him here buying things on the open street. A lot of times, there's some people that just go out and buy it all the time, and they just never get caught. It's been here since 2008. Would that be a fair assessment?
Wait a minute, swear the witness, please.
Raise your right hands, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
And your name?
My name is Kevin Burley.
And sir, what do you have to say? Did he cooperate with you?
The store owner was cooperative. He did not try to hide the fact that the
Hennessy was from stolen shipment.
Did he know that they were stolen when he bought them?
That I don't know, sir.
He did not say that to you?
No.
All right. And what, if anything else, can you tell us about where it came from, or, I mean, we know it came from stolen shipment, but how did he know about it or so forth? Does somebody come to the bar to sell it to him?
The way I understand, Mr. Day One told us that he purchased the Hennessy from someone who drove around in a white van selling the Hennessy at a reduced price.
That's that same white van we've heard of before.
Yes. The mysterious white van, yes.
All right, any questions, Commissioner?
No.
Anything else?
I was just saying the mysterious white van seems to show up at every crime scene. But that's
Right,
an
right.
aside, yeah.
All right, ready for decision, $1,000.
That sounds good.
I agree.
You have our decision.
Because you never asked me.
Okay,
Did you
I'll
want
ask
more? Less?
I'm sorry, 1,000 plus administrative costs. 125, yep.
What was your last name, sir, Kevin?
Burley, B-U-R-L-E-Y.
All right, sir.
Thank you.
Now we're asking you, now, we all recognize what you think. That's okay. Maybe next time.
He's not heavy, he's my brother.
All right, call the next case.
The last case is a reconsideration. This is of Richard Davis, Steel Drum Cafe, LLC, trade name Calypso Cafe. This is located at 771 Washington Boulevard. This is a Class B D7, beer, wine, and liquor. Request for reconsideration from the community regarding the board's decision of April 24th. I believe that the question is regarding, is it 30 days to pay for the last one?
Would that be okay?
That'd be fine, 30 days
Thank
to
you.
pay.
Abraham Hurl on behalf of the Steel Drum Cafe trading as the Tilted Pig, and Mr. Davis, the licensee of record.
All right, now, we have an order in front of us. You have a copy of it.
Can I order?
My order.
Yes.
Okay, and so the issue today is stated in the order. Is there any questions? Do you have any questions about why we're here?
There's a reconsideration, correct?
Yes.
Not the actual protest hearing, correct?
On the protest.
Correct. If the reconsideration hearing is granted, we will have a protest hearing, correct?
But you've already got reconsideration. That's why you're here. You were here on the protest.
My understanding is we're here for reconsideration hearing, which, that's what the docket indicates.
No, definitely not. I think the order's clear.
Okay.
And we're here on the protest. And I'm going to start with the protest and then I'll come to you as a licensee for your defense. Be glad to hear from you, sir. Swear all the witnesses.
Raise your right hands, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
State your name.
Robert.
Be glad to hear from you. Who are you, sir?
I live across the street, I own property across the street, and the business across the street from the Tilted Pig.
All right, what do you have to say, if anything, about this topic?
Excuse me, Mayor, I'd like to make a preliminary motion to dismiss.
Be glad to hear from you. What do you want to say?
The initial application, the initial protest signature documents failed to meet the criteria in Article 2B. 10301A14 clearly states, Simon Ellis and 10 residents, commercial tenants who are not holders or applicants for any license issued under this article, or real estate owners in the immediate vicinity in which the licensed place of business is located. It's my understanding they had a plentiful number of signatures. I know this board does not look upon the immediate vicinity aspect of it favorably. My concern, though, is their petition does not indicate that they are not holders or applicants of the license, and therefore does not meet the minimum criteria and cannot go forward. I have a copy of the rules. Well, I have a copy of the rules, sorry, not Article 2B. I
All right,
apologize.
the motion is denied. I'd like to say that, again, we've said it many times, that the 200-foot rule is no longer applicable. You know, it's almost impossible. It's the most ridiculous rule I've ever heard in my life. I'll give this example where you live, sir. I don't know if you live in a row house or what, but if you lived in a row house, if you could find 10 people within 200 feet of your house that would object to anything about you, it would be almost impossible in any place, about any bar, business, residence, or anything. It's a rule which makes protest impossible. Impossible. It's an impossible rule. It's an unfair rule. And we're a community board. The purpose of the board is to decide whether or not the privilege of owning a license should be continued if there's evidence to the contrary. Now, in my order, I stated it very clearly. It's not a time for hearsay or guesswork by other people in the community who might not like the licensee for some reason or other, but is he doing something to violate his privilege? That's why we're here today.
No, I understand, Your Honor, but in order for the license to be protested, they have to file it within a certain time frame. They have to meet certain basic criteria, 10 residents. I understand your opinion on the immediate vicinity. I am not arguing that at all. My concern is, the rule also states beyond the immediate vicinity, beyond the 10 residents, that they must show they are not holders or applicants of any license issued under this article.
Well, I denied the motion, and I find it totally contrary to the spirit and the reason why we sit as a liquor board. I'll be glad to hear from you now again, sir. Your name?
Robert Dickerson.
And Mr. Dickerson, where do you live?
Almost directly across the street from the
And your address?
762 Washington Boulevard.
762
762.
Washington Boulevard. And what do you have to tell us?
I brought numerous documentation. I can start with this that I've sent in. I have extra copies if anyone needs them. This is about 12 months of,
We're hearing you, sir, from the beginning, over again. So tell
well,
us what you
I'm not sure of the
wanna tell us.
process. Okay, well, I guess I should start with the Tilted Pig
Don't
is,
assume we've seen
okay.
anything. The council wants to know what you're talking about.
Okay.
And go right straight to it.
So the Tilted Pig opened up as a sports bar. Maybe a few months after opening, they started having live entertainment without a license, having lots and lots and lots of people in there over and above the capacity of the fire marshal allows. They've been cited multiple times and found guilty of having live entertainment, dancing over capacity since they've opened, since they've started having these events. What I brought as evidence is many months worth of flyers, advertising live entertainment, photographs of live entertainment, photographs of DJs in the bar, documenting that this is an ongoing thing, not as has been argued in past violation hearings that it's a 1 or 2 time matter. It's an ongoing thing.
Ongoing overcrowding? Is that-
Overcrowding, live entertainment.
They have no permission for live entertainment?
Correct.
I object to the testimony, Your Honor, and it's simply because the Tilted Pig has been before the board in the past in overcrowding live entertainment violations. They have been found guilty on a couple of those occasions. We're not here to repeat those same things. This isn't a protest from today. This is from in April. We can't take into account the last 2
Well, I agree that
months.
we should limit it to the period of April 24th, prior to that period of time. We're not going to go back in history.
It's between April of last year, April of 2013 and April of 2014, the license period for which I'm protesting.
Now, you have a continuing objection just to protect your interests.
That's correct, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, now tell us, go ahead, sir.
So, so basically, this document here just highlights many, many months' worth of ongoing live entertainment. I'm not sure.
Let me ask counsel, if you agree that you do not have permission for live entertainment?
That's correct, Your Honor. Again, this has been taken up on violations in the past. They were fined substantially the last time they were here. You know, the things that he's discussing
Well,
are
they
things.
weren't fined in April 24th. Maybe they were just dismissed, wasn't it?
There's no violation for April 24th.
They were
The
fine.
previous protest was on April 24th, Your Honor. That's correct, by the previous board. The violations I think he's discussing are from March, which we came before the board, I think, about a month and a half ago, I believe. Right, the violations occurred in March, and they were found guilty for those.
What's the status now in since April, for example? Is he violating the law now
Yes.
with live entertainment?
Just maybe a month and a half ago, DJ Meal Ticket had his DJ release party, and that was a huge commotion on the street.
Wait a minute, talk slowly.
Yeah.
We'll just warn it, and we'll take care of it.
Yeah, what did you say again?
There's the DJ Meal Ticket had a.
What's a
CD
DJ?
I don't, it's his DJ name. DJ Meal Ticket had a CD release party.
He's a DJ, plays.
He's a disc
plays
live
music,
entertainment.
disc jockey.
Oh, he plays for money, you mean?
I assume it's a live entertainment issue. Correct.
And how do you know?
Because I monitor their Twitter feeds, all these artists, they promote their shows on Twitter, that's what all this is. What I'm showing is not isolated incidences of live entertainment violations. What I'm showing is an ongoing pattern over the course of 12 months of live entertainment, basically following the rules of the liquor board. They were found guilty last fall. They were cited for live entertainment, for a violation that happened prior to April 2013, for which I was here. They were also found guilty maybe 2 months ago for a violation in March. They have open violations that, there's an inspector who's out on leave, that the reschedule of this violation hearing is being postponed until she can come back. Karen, I think is her name? Yes.
There's a pending violation.
Pending violation for other, more violations. I've had to live across the street from this bar, just ejecting mass amounts of people into the street on a regular basis, and this is my venue to complain. I've got video showing what the street looks like after the entertainment. I mean,
But since we're not looking at a video, what does
I can show the video right here.
All right, go ahead.
The street it looks like the Pigtown Festival at 1 o'clock in the morning. I object to any video. It could be edited. It isn't the full video.
Well, you can cross-examine and find out what's wrong. Go ahead. Now, what's the time period? What are we talking about?
All of my videos have
Can you see, Commissioner? Commissioner Moore?
So I can hit play and then, included in the evidence that I submitted is a key that basically highlights all the videos that I have. This video is from March 1 to 2. If the way,
She's right behind. Can you move, come over
Okay.
here so we can see?
The way my dating system works is if I have 2 dates, it means it happens after, it's like the night of the first, but it happened after midnight, so it's technically the second. So this would be after midnight on the early morning of the second. And let me hit start.
Give me the year and date, give me the date, please.
March 2nd, 2014.
2014?
Yeah.
All right,
It's
come on,
April-
come on
April
over
1st.
here.
This is a girl who was trying to pass out on the sidewalk out front, and security guard tries to. I object, I can't see the video. I've never tried this. I can restart.
Well, you make yourself so that you can see it. So the same as we're trying to do.
Remind you guys not to talk over each other.
All right, now, what are you showing us?
I'm showing there's a female here that's passing out on the sidewalk, and the security guard is trying to limit the situation, and her friends are trying to get her to walk home.
What is that, what building is that?
That's the tilt pig right there.
Go ahead. Go ahead to go to your next exhibit.
Video is, this next video is in the early morning hours after midnight of February 22nd. This is
What year?
2014. This is, I forgot which one.
This is at nighttime?
Yeah, these are all at night. This might be the one of DJ equipment leaving the bar.
Do you have a flash drive?
Yes.
Okay.
Here is, this video is the early morning hours of February 19th, of just all this showing everyone on the street after the bar closes. Again, this is around 1 a.m., 1:30 in the morning.
And what does this show? What,
Just people on the street yelling after they're coming out of the Tilted Pig. And then later on,
What time is this supposed to be?
it's probably around 1 a.m. It's after midnight. And this is later. This is later, that's from the Purdue prior, later that same night after police arrived to help with crowd control.
Are you taking this from your house?
From my house.
Hmm.
Yeah, I submitted a flash drive with all these videos on it.
I reviewed them.
Number 29. Another large group of people on the street. Police arrive to help with
Now, is this
crowd
on
control.
another occasion?
On another occasion. A couple of my videos are just continuations, but most of these videos are
What are we looking
separate
at
dates.
now? Which one?
This is the early morning hours of October 30th.
I see the police car there with the flashers on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is on another date, of course.
Another day, yep. There's one occasion where I was working late and the police just showed up and I was surprised and I asked them what was going on and they said that they were just showing up because they know Tuesdays are a problem. Because I hadn't called that night. There's another date, October 17th. This one shows a bunch of people outside. A gentleman comes over to this car, opens his windows, cranks up his radio, then goes out here and hangs out and talks with security at the Tilted Pig. No, that car there, I'm sorry. So he just cranked up his radio, walks over and just hangs out with the bouncers at Tilted Pig. And the bouncers apparently do nothing at all to...
Is that his radio that we're listening to?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
This is August, early morning on the 7th.
6 or 7, yes.
Yeah.
How much of them, so? It's part of the
Another
evidence.
night, lots of people just hanging out. This was a very large, popular area for everyone to kind of leave and start hanging out. And then neighbors on the street back here where parking would occur for the bar would experience similar kinds of noise. And then neighbors down the other direction would experience the same kind of noise. This is the early morning hours of July 31st. Again, just people in the street yelling, coming in and out of Tilted Pig.
What day of the week is this?
This is July 30th.
That's a Tuesday.
If I were to guess, it's probably a Tuesday, because the Tuesdays for 8 or 9 months was the premier night of the week, was the loud night. That was, who was that? That was DJ. That was DJ Manny. Had a very long-going relationship with the Tilted Pig over many months. And then approximately late March, post on Twitter, we are no longer at the Tilted Pig. Thanks for the love, bigger location, lots of free parking coming soon. And then the promoter also, Corey Presents, I guess he's the promoter. The love was real good at Tuesdays at Tilted Pig, had some good times. We have a new spot coming soon.
All right, go ahead. That's taken from your, that's still taken from your house.
Yeah, these are off in my house. This might be the noise. There's a video where there's a security guy from the Tilted Pig just kind of walking down the street. It might be that guy there with a taser just clicking it to make the noise. So this is 23rd, 24th.
Now, Barry and Washington Boulevard are, according to your location of this, where is that compared to your house and the bar?
Barry is perpendicular to Washington Boulevard. So Barry is this side street you can see, catch a glimpse of it.
All right, so how many feet or yards is it from the bar?
I would say it's probably 120.
Feet? Feet. And do you know the location where the people came from?
If I could watch the video, I could isolate people coming from the bar, but oftentimes, by the time I was awake in the night, when I started shooting video, it was just lots of people in the bar. But you can see people exiting in and out of the bar in many, many of these videos.
All right, go ahead.
So this is basically, let's see, people loitering, and then 30 minutes, this is 30 minutes later. Police arrive for, I don't know why, because I've gone back to bed. And then
sorry, it's blurry, but they look like they're talking to people out front of the Tilted Pig. And then 25 minutes after that, it's your loud argument on the street. Oh, yeah, so this is, there's a loud argument starts here.
What date
So
is this?
This is early morning, June 5th,
2014,
2013, sorry.
2013.
And some guy comes from across the street, starts talking to them and tell them to quiet down, and he points up to my window and says something about there's this dude, the next person.
Don't whisper, I don't know what you're saying.
Well, the guy comes and tells the woman, makes him quiet down and says there's this dude, points to my window, and then I can't, everything after that is, I couldn't understand.
All right, go ahead.
Early morning on the 10th. No, this is this I think is, this is actually earlier than night. This is May 9th. This is when the woman was arrested on the street after leaving the Tilted Pig after assaulting a bystander. And then during the arrest, an officer was also struck. I object to this one. This was the previous renewal period. It should not be heard.
Say that again.
Previous renewal period.
The previous one, what?
Previous renewal period. The license was renewed in May 1st, 2013. This is the previous renewal period.
Well, actually, I couldn't see it anyway. Yeah, so,
So, I believe.
Overruled.
I believe my neighbor Jenny has additional testimony.
now where are we now? What are we
This
looking,
is-
all that noise that we're hearing? and
Yeah,
so
they're all the people in the street.
When is
Several
this?
police cars.
Several
early
police
morning
cars.
of April 4th, 2013.
All right. Okay. That completes your videos?
Pretty much. I didn't, for the interest of time, I didn't clip on all of it, but.
All right. All right, then go ahead back to your testimony and tell us what you want to tell us.
Basically, I think what I'm trying to present is that this shows a pattern of just flouting the rules of your liquor license. Their strategy for providing a restaurant, bar, or service seems to be just packing in as many people as possible.
If you got an estimate as how many people you saw on the street or around the bar at this time?
I can't estimate this number of people, but I know that on several occasions they have been cited at overcapacity and found guilty.
All right, now in the last 30 days, have you noticed any change in the operation of the tavern?
It seems ever since DJ Manny on Tuesdays ceased operations, the bar has been quieter.
What do you mean by quieter?
There's been fewer disturbances at night, but in the past, probably a month and a half, 2 months, it seems like Friday nights are starting to ramp up. They've got a new DJ night kind of starting and trying to build an audience.
And now, do they have the right to have a DJ?
They do not.
And when's the last time you saw a DJ there?
I haven't seen a DJ there in a couple months, but I have seen advertisements for a DJ on Twitter. I didn't bring any evidence for after April, since this period was from April 2013 to April 2014, but they are having DJ nights on Friday nights.
Now?
Now.
Now.
Mhm.
Go ahead, sir. I'll be glad to hear anything else you have to say. What is this service request search report? What is that?
Oh, I just brought in the 311 and 911 calls for the time period.
These are the police
Yeah.
radio calls?
That's the 911 and 311 service requests.
All his exhibits are admitted as Exhibit 1 collectively. Did you have a copy of them? Did you do that?
This?
Yes.
And I was an exhibit separately, but email that, and we'll do a copy.
Do not? I didn't hear what you said.
I do not have a copy, no. None of my rights, sorry.
Do you have any extra copies
Of
for the council? Now, how many calls, and what was the period of time these calls were made?
Well, I didn't add the amount, but all the calls that I presented take place between April 2013 and April 2014.
Are they all for this bar?
They're all for this bar. Because they're tied to the address.
Now, these are all police calls.
They're, I'm not sure how the parameter brings it up, but there are 911 requests and 311 requests for that address.
You want to tell us anything about these calls? It's your exhibit.
Well, just to represent the fact that they're numerous, and they happen at a very, very regular basis.
Now, what effect has this had on your ability to lead a normal life in the house that you live in?
Well, I often get woken up at 1 o'clock in the morning.
You say often, how often?
It was at least twice a week during the prime, which was probably May of 2013 through March of 2014. They had a very busy Tuesday night and a very busy Friday night.
Now, in addition to calling the police, have you ever had any conversations with the owner of the bar or the operator?
I have. I basically gave them what I consider 3 strikes, whereas one night I could hear the music in my house, and when their door opened, I could hear the lyrics clearly. So I emailed. I copied Bernard, who up until last fall I thought was the owner of the liquor license. I copied Terry. I copied the day shift manager, and just told them that this is unacceptable. This can't happen. Bernard was actually on premises during that event, which surprised me. And after being told 3 times that it won't happen again, I just stopped including them. Also, their landlord accused me of, libel, through an email, and said that any further communication should be through a lawyer. And that was after me trying to express to them how I found this disturbances to be unacceptable.
Was there ever any change or improvement in the condition and operation of the bar during these periods when you had conversations with them?
No, they actually was ramping up and got a lot worse after the conversation.
Is there anything else you want to tell us? When you've offered all these exhibits, what do they do?
Well, what you have right there, there's the date.
Are these the musicians that they're advertising?
They are flyers advertising live entertainment at the bar.
I object to these documents. I don't know who Terry T is. I don't know who any of these people are. I know that if I had a Facebook, I could go on there and post anything I wanted, and there's no reason to have that even indicated to be true. I could say that I'm going to have the biggest party on earth tomorrow at the Tilted Pig, and it doesn't mean there's going to be anything at the Tilted Pig tomorrow. So I object to any of this information coming in.
Towards the middle, there are multiple pictures of DJs.
Wait a minute. Somebody else talking?
We were conferring, but all I heard was their conversation. I wanted to make sure I was getting testimony.
Okay. But here's the only person.
If I could voir dire on this, I would like to, if that's possible.
Sure, go ahead.
Do you know who Terry T is? Did you know that they do have a Twitter account? They only have,
When you say they, you mean?
I'm asking you if they have a Twitter account. Do you know that?
When you say they, who do you mean?
Tilted Pig as a restaurant.
There are 2 accounts that advertise for them on Twitter. One seems to be
Do you know who Tilted Pig Tay is?
No, that's the Twitter account that hasn't posted since last year.
You got to talk more clearly.
Okay.
I swear, you got to slow down.
Okay.
Make yourself more effective if you want everybody to hear what you have to say.
All right.
Do you have?
What did you say?
Tilted Pig Tay hasn't seemed to have advertised for them since last year.
Do you have any information that Tilted Pig Tay is in fact run by the bar?
No, I don't.
Well, did it ever happen at the bar?
Live entertainment?
No, the Tilted Pigtail.
That's the Twitter handle of someone who was promoting for the bar for a short period of time.
That's the name of the person.
I see. Well, do you know whether or not they were indicating this bar?
No, they were, yeah, they were, in this document, there are pages that, how much detail do I have to, like on page, I should have numbered them, but there's a page, like this page here shows a DJ who I can testify because I've been in the Tilted Pig that he's performing at the Tilted Pig. This is a flyer that went out, and the night this flyer went out, on the right side is the night that their shades went up in the window, like had something to hide.
Is it possible that the person who's promoting these or writing these isn't an employee there?
It's possible.
Again, I object to this being given as evidence.
All right, now, what page are you referring to? You got to tell us, and mark the pages on my exhibit.
So there's a DJ performing there.
This one is a picture of the DJ, and then this is the event of the
I see, so these are not pictures inside the bar, but pictures of promotion.
This is an actual photograph from inside the bar.
Which one?
This one right here.
Here. And how did you get that picture?
From Instagram. People who were someone was at the event, posted on Instagram, and I went on Instagram, took a screenshot.
And when was that? What's the date of that?
The date I took the screen grab was April 28th,
Year?
2013.
Okay, go ahead. Now, what about this one? What's the
This is
event?
just picture, just is the day they had this party, the night they had this party, they installed blinds obstructing view into the bar on the first floor. And those blinds have been up ever since.
So that
That's
was
it.
in the window?
It was in the window. These two
How
photographs.
did you
are the-
get, what is this? How did you get?
This is another screen grab from Instagram. Most of what I have is just people reporting on Instagram online. I follow it and I just take pictures and save the pictures.
When was the picture of the woman in the window? What
No,
was
no, the
date?
picture of the woman was, they installed blinds in the window the night of this party. So
When?
that the party was May 4th,
May 4th what?
2013.
Okay. Now, has that been repeated since then?
No, it hasn't, not that I'm aware of.
And how about the DJ? Has he been there since then?
The next page over is two more pictures of DJs.
And where did they come from?
These came from, I'm not really sure what it is. It looks like some sort of promotion website called SmugMug, where you can upload photographs.
Well, have you ever known them to be in this bar on any occasion?
I don't know when they were in this bar, but I do recognize the interior of the bar having been there. This is the front vestibule of the bar. Like if you're looking at the front facade, this is the front window right here.
And you know that from having been in the bar?
Correct. I was actually a regular customer of the bar until they.
Can you tell us what year or time?
I was a regular customer at the bar from late 2012 until early 2013, maybe like February of 2013.
All right, go ahead.
Here's a photograph.
Are these all advertising photographs that you're giving us, or what is this?
The photographs are of people who are in attendance, and they just take the pictures and upload them to the web to the internet. And then there's also people make flyers and also upload those through Instagram advertising events.
Is that what they are collectively?
Yes.
I'd like to continue my objection to all of this. There's no proof that these people are related to the bar in any way, shape, or form. It's all hearsay and should not be admissible.
What do you have to say with respect to that?
Well, it stands to reason if you're advertising an event at a location, that someone isn't just doing this to get a laugh. They're doing it to advertise an event that's going to happen.
There's no proof of that at all, Your Honor.
Like all the screenshots of the flyers indicate live entertainment being offered. These boxes in the corner show the date that I take the flyer, I take the picture, and then you can kind of correlate it with.
On the last page you have here, again, police department calls. What's that all about?
That's just a collection of all the 911 calls related to the address 771 Washington Boulevard, which is the Tilted Pig.
Are any of those been previously marked into evidence by you or on any other exhibit, such as service request search report?
There should be two lists, one for 311, one for 911.
Okay, so we're looking at 911, is that correct? And these give the, who made these, you don't know who made the calls, you just got it.
I made some of them, but
All right, where did this information come from? How did you get it?
Either Councilman Reisinger's office or Kalen Benson, who works for the city. One came from one came from the other, but I don't remember which came from which.
All right, and they show that from 4/1/13 to 4/23/14, there were how many calls? Did you add them up?
I didn't add them up.
Well, let's say there's 1, 2, 3, 4 single-space pages of calls for this bar located from 4/1/13 to 4/23/14. The 4/1/13, and all the same dates on all the pages. And they include disorderly person and so forth. Is that right?
Yes.
Approximately 84,
84.
approximately, yeah.
All right, now what other testimony do you have for us?
This is my neighbor Ginny, and Ginny has additional
All
testimony.
right, come over, ma'am.
Can I cross-examine him before?
Certainly. Wait a minute, you have a question?
You said they've had DJ nights the last couple of Fridays. Have you ever been in there to check if there's a DJ? No. So there's no way of proving that at all?
I've seen advertisements for DJ nights on Friday nights, and I've seen large crowds late at night on Friday nights.
Have you seen a DJ in the establishment having live entertainment?
No.
Could you hear music?
From the bar, no.
How many of the 84 approximately calls did you call in yourself? If I had to make a guess, I would say maybe 12. Do you know what their special is on Tuesdays?
It used to be dollar crabs.
Their Facebook page, screenshots.
That'd be good. And is there another bar around the corner from you?
Jigs.
What's the name?
Jigs Tavern, Jiggs.
And where is that located, around the corner?
They are a block south on Berry.
And when did they let out?
I don't know.
Is it possible that they let out some of these people came from that bar?
I really doubt it.
That wasn't the question. Is it possible? I don't know. The only experience I've had with jigs, there's a lot of loitering out front of jigs, but I've never had a noise problem with jigs. So it's possible that people loitered from jigs between the two locations? I can't confirm that. It's not possible, is what you're saying?
I don't know whether it's possible or not, because I do not witness people coming in and out of jigs.
I have no further questions for him at this time.
All right, commissioners, questions?
So Tilted Pig is on Facebook? Yes?
Yes, that's an official count for everything he have is.
Oh, wait a minute. He's been sworn.
I don't believe these two have been sworn, and I apologize.
Okay.
All right, swear the witnesses.
You swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Please, yes, please state your name for me. Bernard Sanders.
All right, now, your question.
So my question is, Tilted Pig is on Facebook,
Yes, we do have an official Facebook.
and this is your logo
Yeah.
from Facebook. So any page that he's got that has this logo, this is your logo.
That's our logo, but that's not it's not coming from our page. I don't know, Terry T, I don't even know Terry T.
Okay.
It looked like he's a.
Do you know DJ Manny?
Yes, I know, man.
Okay.
Yes.
Who's Terry T?
I don't know.
No, I'm asking questions. All right, you don't get to ask questions just yet, okay? So there are a number of pages that do have your Tilted Pig logo. We're not friends on Facebook, so I haven't liked you. Maybe I should. Right now, I'm not. But there are a number of pages that he's given us that appear to be screenshots from Facebook. But they're also, I mean, it's all social media. It looks like a lot of photographs have been taken and then uploaded as places where people have been. People were at Tilted Pig, and so they load up. And right, so your phone's bigger than my phone, so you can get more screens. But I mean, there's no question that these are from Tilted Pig.
Yes, they can,
Oh, and
just like he did, just like he screenshot and put
Mhm.
all that information in. A promoter can screenshot our logo and promote it.
All right, and so you do understand that a lot of these images that are in this packet match up with the video and with the complaints that have been lodged. So if there's sort of what I would call internal consistency in terms of what's in this packet, what's on the video, and his testimony and the log of complaints. There's a story that's being told.
See, I kind of agree, but this what we look like on Dollar on Tuesday Crab Night. That's what we look like.
Okay, what are the hours of Tuesday Crab Night?
Start at from 7 to 2 a.m.
All right. But then there's also, you have to concede that there are a number of parties and celebrations that go on.
What we do, we have a laptop upstairs and have a manager plan through our system.
We had noise complaints. We came in, we got violated, we turned the noise down. We haven't had any complaints in the past. We've been cooperative. We was just here about a month and a half ago, talked to the inspector. He even agreed that whatever we were told to do, we did. Whatever the neighborhood asked, we did. So what more can we do? I mean, we went from this to nothing. I mean, he kind of killed our business. I mean, the liquor board, I mean, they came and they inspected us like every week for 10, 11, 12 weeks straight. I mean, why? We're not doing anything wrong.
If I may,
Sure.
they were found in violation of several things in March. They were
Of 2014,
That's correct.
okay.
They had their protested, so they were given a violation on that date. Their protested renewal came up on April 24th. A different board heard it and found it insufficient. Reconsideration was requested. Their violation hearing on those violations from March came up about a month and a half ago. They were punished for that. There was a question of account at the time was one of the issues. It was Inspector Ray before he took some leave, I believe. But I think the important thing here is they had a violation and the behavior stopped. They didn't come to the board to have the behavior stop. They were given a violation by an inspector in March and behavior stopped. They got the message. Since then, it's been quiet. There is no DJ on Fridays. There is a laptop hooked up to the stereo, which is a plug-in. Nobody's sitting there, I don't know, spinning tunes, whatever it is. They just use it like an iPod. It's just a restaurant now. My understanding is they're trying to move the license from that location because of the neighborhood's concerns. Their goal is not to continue any sort of issues, which is why the moment they got their violations in March, everything ceased.
May I respond to
I do
that?
believe we do have testimony from, sorry, what's your name now?
Virginia Creek.
Virginia's, I think, is up next, I believe, but we can bounce around.
First of all, Commissioner.
Those are, I'm done with my questions.
Just one quick one. One of your concerns was noise complaint.
And just crowds of people in the street when they let out.
And the question was put to you, did you see the DJ? You said no. Did you hear noise? And you said, what? Give me the answer again.
I don't hear music, other than one time when I heard extremely loud music from the bar. I don't generally hear music from the bar.
So the
My
noise.
issue is with the overcrowding.
Overcrowded.
What's your response with respect to council's
Well,
explanation?
my response with respect to when the disturbance ended, I don't think it correlates so much with being found guilty. I think it correlates with Corey Presents and DJ Manny moving on to a larger venue because they seem to have outgrown the Tilt-A-Pig,
Well, regardless of
which
what the
took place in.
reason, the question is, he says that since his punishment, that's the way he put it.
No, I apologize. I did not say since the punishment. I apologize for interrupting. I said since they were given a violation. Their punishment came only recently. And I think the board was very deferential towards them, but they were given a violation in March. It was the violation date as opposed to the punishment date, which was unfortunately in this case months and months away. They did quiet down. It was March when they quieted down.
So what is the time that they quieted down according to
In
you?
March. As soon as they were given the violation,
2014.
correct. As soon as they were given the violation, prior to coming in before the board, prior to getting disciplined, they got the violation. They told DJ Manny and DJ Meal Ticket, whatever his name is, whatever those DJs are, who I don't think they're really DJs. I think they're just promoters, perhaps. Canceled it all.
All right, now what's your response to that?
Well, my response to that is, I mean, it's documented in their Twitter feeds that they left because they looked for a larger space. But also, they were also given a violation in February, which apparently did not spur them to end their dealings until they got a second violation in March. This hearing hasn't been scheduled yet because the inspector, Karen Brooks, is out on leave.
What's the date on that?
The date on this violation is, the violation date is February 18th.
So we're talking right around the beginning of March, when the videos end. They get a couple violations, and it all stops.
And your response to that? You understand what he's saying?
I think it's a convenient correlation. I don't think there's causal relationship there.
I just want to say, it doesn't matter to me why it stopped. What matters to me is that it stopped. If you are in concurrence that it stopped, that is what matters.
It's lessened, it hasn't stopped.
Do you have
Okay.
any videos from March 3rd forward?
I didn't bring video past April, because I didn't think that was
No,
the,
no. March 3rd, 2014.
I didn't bring any
March
videos
2nd.
that are outside the purview of the renewal period.
Except
I
for
do have
one in April-
videos.
except for one in April 2013.
Well, I was going from April to March. April 2013 to March 2014. I've got additional video, I just didn't bring them with me, because I didn't think it would come up.
Repeat yourself.
I have additional video after March, but I didn't bring them because I didn't think it'd be that. Yeah, it would be an issue because this is for the renewal, not the continuing.
All right, anything else, Commissioners? All right, do you have another witness, or who is she? You've already been sworn.
Yes, sir.
Give us your name,
My name is Virginia Creek.
and what name do you wish to tell us?
I live one block over from Washington Boulevard on Ramsey Street. And I started having,
Block of Ramsey?
I beg your pardon?
What 100 block?
700 block of Ramsey Street. And I started documenting incidents from Thursday, June 13th, 2013. And the last one I documented was Tuesday, February 18th, 2014. And that's 4 pages of usually Tuesdays, Thursdays, and I've sent this in before when we initially came up for, to protest the renewal. So that was sent in. But I just have a little statement of 1.5 pages that I'd like to read, and it kind of goes over this kind of stuff, and then I guess he can, ask me whatever.
I'd like to reject her reports. Most of the nights of her reports happen to be baseball game nights. I went
That's-
through the last time we were here, and I only had my notes from last time, I apologize. Most of them coincide with baseball game evenings, and the stadium is only,
Well, you can make your explanation later.
sure.
Overruled. Ma'am, go ahead and read it.
Okay. I'm here to protest the renewal of the liquor license for the Tilted Pig. I previously submitted a letter dated March 25th, 2014, discussing the problems that I and my neighbors have had with the Tilted Pig, and attached 4 pages detailing, that's those 4 pages there, that I personally experienced from June 2013 to March 2014. To summarize, during that time, at least 2 times a week, starting at about 8:30, there is loud music from cars that speed through my neighborhood, the 700 block of Ramsey Street, arriving and leaving, finding parking to go to the bar. Patrons are arguing, fighting, screaming curses at each other, going to and leaving the bar. Patrons loiter and leave liquor bottles, cans, used food containers, and trash in the street. Patrons use illegal drugs on the street and park cars before and going there. I believe their free valet parking that they offered consisted of them parking the cars in the neighborhood, where residents are then not able to park near their own home until well after midnight. I have been verbally accosted by several patrons. There is one incident that stands out in my mind. On July 16, 2013, after going to bed, I was awakened about 11:45 by loud cursing and music directly in front of my home. I looked out the window to see 2 females standing between my parked car and their car in the middle of the street. As I watched, I was shocked to see one lift her skirt and squat to urinate. The other female had already urinated in the middle of the street. Believe it or not, I've witnessed this perverse action by female patrons 3 other times, most recently in February of 2014. I have made numerous calls to the police and several 311 online complaints about activity associated with the Tilted Pig. On Wednesday, November 6, 2013, I made a 311 complaint addressed to the Liquor Board. This complaint was about Tuesday, November 5th event, and was referred to the police. On Tuesday, February 18th, 2014, I submitted a 311 complaint after confronting a female patron urinating in the street near the front of my home. And this is one of the hearing things that hasn't been heard from February, which should have been a hearing for February 18th event. For the first time in a neighborhood where I've basically lived all 60 years of my life, all within about a block of 771 Washington Boulevard, I am sometimes afraid to sit on my own front steps or walk around the corner to patronize other businesses. I'm tired of being awakened at night by the sound of loud music, tires squealing, horns blowing, cursing, and breaking glass. As a homeowner for almost 40 years, I have never seen anything like what goes on in the streets around the Tilted Pig. Jigs is a neighborhood bar that neighborhood people go to, and it does not attract a crowd like the Tilted Pig. On Thursday, November 21st, 2013, I attended a liquor board hearing for the Tilted Pig that had been rescheduled from September 2013. With other neighbors, I was prepared to speak, but could not because we were not involved with the actual complaint. At that time, the bar was admonished and fined. If the owner-manager cared about the neighborhood, or the liquor board rules for that matter, they would not have been cited for the same as well as additional violations in March of 2014. I'm almost done. If the owner-manager of the Tilted Pig were sincere about being a good neighbor, they would have changed practices last November, but I and my neighbors continue to be plagued by the noise, trash, constant disturbances, and commotion from the patrons until March 2014, when they were notified of being charged with numerous violations again. I don't believe that I or my neighbors should have to sacrifice peace, safety, and quality of life for a business of this ilk. Please deny the Tilted Pig the renewal of their liquor license. I believe that this bar is not a good fit for this neighborhood and detrimental to our future growth. Give residents back the neighborhood we have worked so hard to reestablish. Don't allow one bad business that has been here for so short a time chase away residents that have invested years to make this a neighborhood to be proud of. I'm sure that neither the manager, owner of this bar or the property owner live under conditions such as these. And these are some of the flyers and things that are left in the street to promote other things that are going on along with the liquor bottles. I used to walk 2 miles every day through the neighborhood, and after any of these events, this would all be in the street, liquor bottles, trash, food containers, and like I said, the noise, it wakes you up at 2 o'clock in the morning or 12 o'clock, and earlier, it's just people pack the whole street. It has nothing to do with ball games. We have zone parking. The residents have to buy a sticker to put in their car and have 2 visitors passes. So there's nothing to do with that, because they wouldn't be able to park there if there was a ball game going on. They get ticketed and towed.
Any questions, Commissioners?
I might not be following this, but these flyers look like they're for other locations, Club Paradise.
Whoever's there, they promote future events.
Oh, I see.
By leaving these on the cars.
I see. All right. How are things now?
It's a little quieter, but there's still incidents going on, still things going on. I live, like I said, almost like a half a city block on this side, but we're still very much affected by any events that they have at the Tilted Pig. That's one of the first places they park, because on Washington Boulevard, it's a very small amount of parking there. So they're parking the surrounding neighborhoods.
Okay. Since the license has been renewed, it was renewed, April 2014. Have there been incidents where you were awakened, where there was noise, where you?
It's been like Friday nights.
Friday nights, but during the week has been better. Like it sounded like Tuesday nights were the big night.
It was a dollar crab night that came from everywhere.
And so Tuesdays, since the renewal, you've been fine. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
But it's Friday nights where there's been concern, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Questions?
Yes.
Cross?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Ma'am, Tilted Pig, this is a drawing. Tilted Pig's here in the middle of the street. This is Washington. You're over here, correct?
Yes.
Now, you said you saw a woman squat down between your car and someone else's car and urinate. Did you see her walk from the bar?
I saw her get back in her car because I yelled at her. It's in those notes. I yelled at her and told her I was calling the police, to her to stop what she was doing. I was calling the police. She got back in her car, and I had been out to dinner, so I was just getting in. It was a trash night. I was putting trash out for the next day. I left out the house when I saw her pull away. She pulled around the corner, and that's where she went. She parked around the corner when I said I was calling the police, and I had gotten her license tag. And I went around and saw where she was going.
My question, ma'am, which I didn't finish, I apologize, is you said you saw her squat down and urinate. Did you see where she exited, what premises she came from?
She came from her car.
So you did not see her
She
come
w-
from the Tilted Pig?
It was 8:30 or 9, no, it was 9:30 or so in the evening. Like I said, it just come from dinner. They were arriving for an event, the people. They were just getting there.
Did you see her walk into the Tilted Pig?
Yes, I did.
So from here, you saw her walk into the Tilted Pig?
I saw her move her car from the front of my house, drive around the corner, and I went to see where she was going. I went around the corner, I saw her park in another place, and get out and go to the Tilted Pig where everybody else was going.
So prior to her going to the Tilted Pig, before she was a patron, she urinated next to your car?
Yes.
So she wasn't even a patron at the time?
No, but the 3 other instances where people coming from the bar have urinated in the street.
And you said in those instances, there are people coming from the bar. Did you see them exit the front door of the bar and walk around to your premises?
There is nothing else going on in the neighborhood.
Except for Jigs?
No, the Jigs has neighborhood people that have been going there for 40 years. They're old men that sit around that bar all day long and drink a little beer. There's nobody like the people that come to the Tilted Pig, a bunch of young teenagers and young adults that are out of control.
Ma'am, my question was, you didn't see them leave the Tilted Pig, correct?
I didn't see who leave the Tilted Pig.
Any of those people?
I know where they're coming from.
That's, ma'am, my question is whether you know. It's, did you physically see with your eyes them walk out the front door of the Tilted Pig?
No, I didn't.
Thank you. Ma'am, your residence is close to the stadium, correct?
I guess you would consider it close to
4
the
blocks?
stadium. More like 7 or 8 blocks.
Okay. Now, on those occasions that you said cars were driving by with loud music, did you see the people get in those cars, come from the Tilted Pig on each occasion?
I didn't see this, okay, I didn't see anybody actually going in the Tilted Pig, that are cars racing up and down the street to find parking spaces, parking in my neighborhood. I've asked them, where are you going? And they tell me the Tilted Pig. But I don't go down to the corner and walk around and see where they're going in. But I know that's where they're going. It's nice that they have events at the Tilted Pig. Out of the neighborhood is very quiet. You can hear a pin drop in the evening, except for when these events occur. And all of those people are going to that bar. They're not going anyplace else. There's nothing else there for them to go to.
I object to all of her testimony as to this stricken. She has not seen anybody go into the Tilted Pig. She has admitted that she hasn't seen them go to the Tilted Pig. She says she knows.
I saw the lady that peed in front of my house, urinated.
Ma'am, just let him finish and then you can ask me.
Despite her concerns, which I do understand and appreciate, I apologize, I do. She has no evidence that the people racing their cars, squealing the tires, listening to music, were either at the Tilted Pig, going to the Tilted Pig, coming from the Tilted Pig. They could be coming from anywhere in the city. I myself could get in my car, drive down there, squeal my tires, race through the neighborhood, listen to music real loud, and never step foot in the Tilted Pig. Anybody could.
Overrule this for the commissioners, to give the evidence the weight it deserves. But let me also remind you that people going into a bar are also controlled by the conduct of those people, are controlled by the owners of the bar, they're responsible for it, as well as people coming out of a bar. Always. So whatever weight the commissioners and myself wish to give it, we'll give it. Now, go ahead. What's your next question?
I have no further questions this witness.
All right. Thank you. Stay right here, ma'am. Do you have your case?
Do you have any more witnesses or?
I actually have a more recent video that I haven't downloaded from my phone that's still on here, if I could present it. It's from about 6 weeks ago.
What do you have?
It's the DJ meal ticket night that I mentioned earlier.
Get a little closer.
It turns out that
Give your name again for the record.
Robert Dickerson.
And what are you going to show us?
This is a video from approximately 6 weeks ago, the DJ meal ticket event that I referenced earlier. Actually, I haven't actually removed it from my phone yet, so it's still here. I apologize. It's almost 9 minutes long.
How many?
9.
You don't need to look at
I could.
the 9
It's
minutes,
time
do
for
it.
everyone to pass it around if you like. There's a point where the performer.
What's the date of this?
That is approximately 6 weeks ago. Until I remove it, I can't see the actual date stamp on the file. And it's. It's approximately 8 minutes and 48 seconds.
Yeah,
from
there's
that.
no, I don't see a date stamp.
Until I remove it,
Oh, I
from the
see.
phone, I can't
Yeah,
date
I
it,
can't
but my
date it,
memory is
no.
about maybe 6 or 7 weeks ago.
Okay.
You can have it. Okay.
But set it up for him.
Okay.
That music is coming from one of the cars on the street.
Okay.
You want to see it?
Would you like to see it?
I guess you can get up in place. Okay. Thank you.
You said the music was from a car, correct? Correct. Did you see the person get in the car from the Tilted Pig?
I may be able to watch this video in full detail and see interaction. This video contains interactions between people in the street and people in the bar. It's as if the street becomes an extension of the bar.
No, I don't think so.
There's people, within this atmosphere, there's people going in and out of the bar, experiencing both environments.
I do not disagree that there are people coming in and out of the bar, which, as the chairman has said, the bar is responsible for. My question is the noise from the car. Is there any proof at all that you can pinpoint that person as a patron before or after at the Tilted Pig?
No.
I object and ask that the video be stricken.
What is the, in other words, you don't know whether that person doing the music had any connection with the bar, is that what you're saying?
It's possible that I could watch the video and watch people go
Well, we
through,
can't
but I
guess
haven't
what
done
you can
that,
do.
so no.
We're here for a hearing, you must present
Correct.
what you have.
This video illustrates what is a fairly regular occurrence on our street because of the Tilted Pig.
This
Well,
video
The liquor
illustrates-
license has been at this location for about 5 years, and it hasn't been until the Tilted Pig opened that we had any problem whatsoever. I myself was a big fan of the liquor license moving into that property. I was completely in favor of it. Unfortunately, the
Stick
restaurants...
to the point, sir.
Well, until the Tilted Pig opened, this was a very quiet block.
You know, we're looking at all the evidence, and we're trying to assess what is proven to be from connected with the bar and not connected. And the question here is whether the person who was making the noise with the radio was in any way connected with the bar.
I can't prove that, but there were probably 70, 80, 100 people on the street, all filtering in and out of the bar. I mean, the video shows people coming in and out of the bar, enjoying both places at the same time,
Well, I'm going to overrule the objection. I think that for the weight, it's up to the commissioners, but whether or not the person would have been there or not have been there, playing his radio in the car, even though there's no evidence showing he has any direct connection with the bar, is whether the commissioners to decide as to whether the presence of the bar and the atmosphere that existed at that time and date are relevant. All right, next question.
I have no more questions for these witnesses.
All right, your defense, sir.
I'd like to renew my objection and motion for dismissal. This matter was heard before the previous board. This board has put out memorandums indicating that they're not going to hear decisions from the other board, and that is exactly what this decision
No,
is.
I didn't say that at all, and it's absolutely improper of you to say such a thing. When I said a couple days ago that in the future, that no motions for reconsideration will be heard that are older than 60 days. It does not apply to this one, which was already set before the board. The issue before this board really is very clear, and that is a reconsideration of the prior board's decision, which I granted the motion for reconsideration, which is why we were here today, as to whether the other board was correct in continuing the license or not continuing the license. And there's a small area to the side there as to whether or not the current conduct of the board would influence us with respect to our decision. So that is the clear decision is to be made on whether or not that previous board was correct in continuing the existence of this license. Plus, your, obviously, mitigation, I would believe, that the issue is no longer present. It's for this board to decide that. That's what we're here for. Now, go ahead with your case.
Before I get to that, Your Honor, I apologize for bringing this up and beating a dead horse, but the situation is no reconsideration hearing was heard. If a reconsideration hearing had been granted, it would have been appealed. This had previously occurred.
I just granted it. I granted it before I made my new. You're absolutely out of. You're incorrect in what you're saying. Yes, if I had previously granted a motion for reconsideration, you certainly could have appealed it any time you wanted. But an appeal doesn't stop a motion for reconsideration. We still can reconsider it. Nor does a motion for reconsideration stop the time for appeal. Let's go on.
Mr. Ellsberger?
Yes.
Mr. Ford?
You've already been sworn. Come over and give us your name and what's your testimony.
Since,
What is his name?
It's Terry Adelsberger.
Terry, what do you do at the bar?
Pretty much take care of the organization of it. I'm behind the scenes. I do not go in and actually run the bar.
When you were found in violation in February and March, what did you do at that time?
Make sure that everybody in the bar changed their ways and we made sure we complied to every problem. We fired absolutely everybody, we rehired security, we made sure that it was quiet.
Who are we talking about?
Also worked with the gentleman on the corner.
I believe he's talking about him and Bernard. Bernard, you're the active day-to-day manager, is that correct? This is Bernard, he's the day-to-day manager. I'll
Does
bring him up in
Bernard have a
moment.
last name? Bernard Sanders?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Pretty much just tried to make sure that anything that we did that came up, a lot of the things that came up were new to us as well. After a while, I realized that what I had on my hands here, I'll say it now and then I'll digress and go back and prove the point. Pretty much, we've got a few neighbors, some of them are here right now, that really don't want any business or young black people on that block after 5 p.m. That's it.
All right, I
bottom
want to
line.
stop you right there,
All
okay?
right.
I am not here to hear racial,
I take it back.
no,
then.
you can't take it back,
Oh, okay.
but you can't say it again.
I won't say
All
it
right?
again.
Not here to hear allegations of
Okay.
racial concern, don't talk, listen. Racial concerns unless you can absolutely substantiate it. I don't want you to say or testify, I don't want anybody to testify who wants what race in their community.
Okay.
Not for you to say, if they don't like it, they better say it, and they better be prepared to defend it, and they better be prepared to have some repercussions. We're not gonna I'm not gonna tolerate allegations of racism unless they can absolutely be substantiated, and you can't do it, so don't do it again.
I won't do it again. I've never done it before.
Don't
I
do it
didn't
again. Let's
realize
move
it.
on.
I
Let's
didn't
move on.
realize it was that point. But pretty much
Let me,
after 5 o'clock.
let me add on to that.
All right, sir.
And I'm gonna digress a minute. In my court,
Okay.
it was always sometimes a tactic for lawyers in the defense to raise the issue of race, where there was absolutely no evidence that the issue actually existed, and I think that's what the commissioner is saying. Now, if you know of people who made such statements and did this and so forth, that's evidence.
Yes, sir.
But for you to just to make an open blank statement with any supporting facts whatsoever is outrageous.
All right.
And it's only used for the purpose of prejudice,
Not gonna
to
happen.
try to
Yeah, there is
achieve
none.
a,
Yes.
wait a minute, to try to achieve a purpose. Now, I don't know who you are. Say, we did this, are you the owner of the bar?
I'm one of them, yes.
What
I'm one of the
percent?
investors in this bar.
How much do you own?
Probably a third.
All right, now, when the time period when you said you were trying to do the right thing, in effect, that's what you were saying, where are you talking about? You talking about a year ago, or 6 months ago, or 2 months ago, or what?
Well, as each violation came up, then we would review what the problem was, why did we get the violation, and we'd immediately do something about it. To the point where I even had a meeting with the Southern District. I'm the one that calls the 911. Most of all those calls are me, making sure there's a patrol car there at night when we leave out. I'm working with the barber shop at the end of the corner. His name is Terrence. He lives above that window. If I knew today what was going to happen as far as for this hearing, I would have brought the people in from the neighborhood I have personally been working with. I can reappear with him, and I can give you all the names and the information about the meeting with the Southern District and the
Well,
police.
what are we talking, what time periods are we talking about?
It depends on what you're talking about.
No, it depends on what you're talking about.
All right, then I'll make a time frame up.
Here-
I would say that
Let me
2014.
remind you what you've heard today.
2014,
All right, 2014 when?
March.
March.
The 2nd of March. We were very, very busy in March of 2014, very busy. And that upset the apple cart in the neighborhood. And we got violations for anything that we did minutely out of order. Okay. One of the big mistakes that I feel that we made was if we did get a call about noise, for some reason the manager then, he's been let go, would immediately say, okay, we're going to close up. I don't know why he did that. Anyway, instead of saying, okay, we'll turn it down and that's it. Once those people got put out on the street, they did make noise. If you take X amount of people and put them on the street, they're going to make noise.
Well, so
Okay.
you can help me and perhaps everybody else. The things that we heard on the video were dated March
Okay.
and February 2014, which showed outrageous noise and disorder in a community neighborhood. outrageous, is the only way to describe it, with all kinds of things happening and police cars coming and going.
I called the police.
Okay, but what do you have to say about what was happening with respect to the bar on March 1st and 2nd, February 21, 22, and so forth, which we have heard and seen evidence of?
If they're violation nights, my point of view is this. If they are the violation nights you're speaking of, if we shut down 100% because someone's there and they hand us a violation, and the manager on duty says, we're closed,
I don't know what
everybody
you're
has to
talking
get
about.
out.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Then all
violation
those
night.
people go out in the street at one time, there is going to be noise.
What's a violation night? I don't know what you're talking about.
Terry, let me try to guide you. In March, you were given a couple violations, is that correct?
Right.
On a couple of those occasions, you just closed up for the night, correct?
Yeah.
Now, just, what,
It's my,
cancel?
it's my understanding that his daughter is calling, and it's.
I
somewhat
know,
of an
counsel,
emergency.
you're in charge of your clients.
I apologize, Your
This
Honor.
again is outrageous.
And I apologize for that, Your Honor. Again, it's my understanding that it's his
What's
daughter, and
wrong
there's an
with him?
emergency. I wish I had more information. He told me a moment ago that it was his daughter calling. I think if it was my daughter, I'd probably have the phone on too. And I apologize for even saying that, but I imagine it's an emergency if she's calling. Mr. Sanders?
I'm sorry, it was the alarm to pick her up from school. I turned the ringer off, but the alarm just went off by itself.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm so sorry.
And again, I apologize. Mr. Ellsbury, when you received a couple of those violations, you immediately close up, is that correct?
That's what would happen when yes.
Thank you, Terry. When you closed up, everyone would get put out immediately, is that correct?
Yep.
And because there was so many people not being let out over time, when you would normally close, it may or may not have caused a commotion, is that correct?
We had to run around and collect the tabs, they were mad, they were waiting for drinks. All of a sudden, we tell them, get out, and it wasn't good.
So it's your belief that by closing up suddenly, sometimes the crowd can get a little disappointed and therefore they go outside, they become a little
Absolutely.
upset?
As your client
Absolutely.
about the entertainment that he didn't have a license for.
Well, I'm actually not going to do that, Your Honor. I apologize. They were here a month and a half ago for violations on that, and they were found guilty of that. We're not denying that they did have live
You can
entertainment.
present your own case.
They did have live entertainment, well, they do not have live entertainment on the license, Your Honor. And this is what they admitted to, and this is what they were found in violation of, about a month and a half ago. When they were issued the violation in late February and early March, they stopped. It ceased, which is why,
Well, you
despite
do
one loud car-
testify well, but why don't go ahead and ask your client about
Sure.
that.
When you received your violations in March, what did you do? You previously said you fired
March of
everybody.
2014.
We replaced the security, we made sure that any of the violations that were there for whatever reason, that we rose to the occasion and made sure that that didn't happen again, or we put our best foot forward to make sure it didn't happen again. At this point, in this time, we are in dire sales trouble. We literally have stopped anything that could possibly make any noise or what have you, or do any business. Our business is down a zillion %.
Since March, have you had any live entertainment events at all?
No,
Have you had any large crowds?
not really.
Have
If
you
we
had-
did, it would be good.
But you've never been over capacity, correct?
No, not since ever. We were over capacity at one point, but we found out that people were letting other people in the back door.
But since
Then we
March,
stopped that.
since March, you haven't been over capacity.
No.
Since March, you've had any noise violations, is your understanding?
No.
Things have calmed down altogether.
Yes.
I have no further questions for this witness.
Commissioners?
Yeah, just to quickly rehash some of what I'm hearing. How often are you at the bar?
I'm 66 now, so I'm in bed at 9 o'clock, but I am there every day. And I meet with my managers and I call them, I find out what's going on. I do go in and out, but I do not go in late at night.
So on how many occasions have you had the need to call the police to come out and help in crowd control or behavior of the people? that
After my
participate?
meeting with the Southern District, they gave me the numbers and I worked with them. And then I took it upon myself on Tuesdays and Fridays to call the Southern District during the day. If I could not do that by 5
My
o'clock.
question is, how many times did you feel the need to call the police in reference to crowd control or bad behavior of your clientele?
So Mr. did call the cops if there was a problem.
Every time. I did it in advance of the evening.
A number. 15
Let's
times,
just give
20
me-
times?
Is it
5
often, not so often?
Often. So that I don't have trouble.
No,
That's not
hold
my
on.
question.
The question, Terry, is,
I'm talking to one person, I mean, you can
sure,
advise
I
him
can,
because you're his
if you,
attorney.
if I can maybe
Okay,
rephrase
alright.
it just so he can understand, I apologize. I think he's just having a difficult time understanding. How many times have you had to call the cops because there was a problem? Not to prevent a problem, but because there was a noise issue, a fight, whatever the issue was, as a way to control a pre-existing problem as opposed to a preventative measure with the Southern District?
No.
But you have called the police on many occasions, the Southern District, based on your coordination with them as a preventative measure.
Yes.
Thank you.
The video that we saw here today, did you witness any crowd behavior such as the one we witnessed here today? I'm finished.
Let me, you made the statement that you're the one that was doing most of the calling of the police. The documents that we showed so that most of the police calls were made at the time when you said you were never in a bar, which was late at night or early in the morning
I
hours.
can explain, Your Honor.
Okay.
If you call the Southern District before 5 o'clock, they'll talk to me directly, and if there are times, as a courtesy, the gentleman on duty would say, yes, we'll pass it on to the evening shift, and they'll send the car by. And pretty much our problem is the following. We don't allow underage people in. And there's a 7-Eleven and a dollar store just adjacent to us to our right when you step out the door, right off Martin Luther. And what happens is, there's a lot of people that come and park along the side streets late at night. They're underage, they can't get in. Or they're just there because there's other bars and other things to do, or the 7-Eleven or the dollar store. When our patrons would come out, they would start, the people that were hanging around would start fighting with our people to the point where I literally had to call the police to make sure that there was a car in that corner. When that happened, then that all stopped. Now, the owner of, how I knew all of this, the owner of the barber shop called me at my house and he said, this is what's going on. Because when I come out in the morning, he says, I watch it and I see this stuff. I see the guys getting out of their cars and girls calling other girls' names and then pulling their earrings off and throwing it down and fighting right on my lot. I have to clean up this lot every morning. Everything's happening down around the corner. I talked to the security company. They refused to walk down around the corner. They said, call the police and make sure there's a patrol car there. All of the fighting stopped and what have you when I finally figured out what was going on. The noise and the hollering, the screaming, yelling, and the fighting and everything are from people coming in from other areas that are kind of hanging around that 7-Eleven dollar store lot that collide with our people. Our people are not trying to get out of there safe. I've talked to them before, the manager's on duty. They just want the people to get out, be quiet, and go. We know all about Rob, the neighbor across the street, with his window up and videoing us. So it's not like we don't know this is happening. We're very conscious of it. We've gone through 3 security companies trying to make sure we keep the people quiet. To the point where one security company decided to only let 10 people go out at a time once we closed. That didn't even work.
Any other witnesses or testimony?
Yeah, I'd like to call Mr. Sanders.
I had some questions for this gentleman.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Adelsberger, you mentioned that you're approximately a 1/3 owner of Steel Drum Cafe. Who owns the other approximate 2/3?
Oh, okay. Right, here's one.
What does that mean? Don't talk. What is the person who owns the other 2/3?
Okay, Bernard Sanders. Mr. Davis.
You have incredible disrespect for people.
I'm so sorry.
Richard Davis, and he is listed as the licensee, correct? Is Mr. Davis here?
No, he's super sick.
All right, so Mr. Saunders, who you told us takes care of the day-to-day issues, is actually a 1/3 owner, correct?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
I'm not talking to you yet. So, Mr. Adelsberger, you said that you were the person that made most of these calls. I just want to point out to you, you told us that you're 66 years old, you go to bed at what, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock? These calls,
9 o'clock.
or at 9 p.m. These calls were made at 12:19 a.m., 1:33 a.m., 12:57
Yes, ma'am.
a.m., 10:10 p.m. after your bedtime.
I did not.
11:22 PM, well after your bedtime. 12:50 AM. So these are not calls that you made. These are calls that are made by other persons who are disturbed by the activity around Tilted Pig.
No, here's how it works.
No, don't tell me how it works. You tell me what you did.
Okay,
What you told us is that you would make a
Yes.
call preemptively.
yes,
And you're trying to tell me or tell us
Yes.
that you make your call and then it doesn't get recorded until 1 AM or 2 AM. It's not true. It's not how it
Okay.
happens.
let me just make it a little bit clearer. When you work with the Southern District, if I didn't make my call during the daytime hours, you cannot call and get them in the evening, so I have to, yes.
Everybody else can call,
Yes, they can, they have to call 911.
and they do. And
Yeah.
that's what these records show. Have you had anything to drink today?
No.
Are
Listen,
you
my
not-
manager on duty is instructed to call before the night ends. I'm the one that makes the bar make the call.
Oh, I
That's why I
see.
said, I am the one that went down, had the meeting and set this up, where we're the ones making most of the calls, only to make sure that everything's okay. Now, we haven't done this for a while because it's been so quiet.
I want to tell you, your testimony is coming
Seriously.
out completely inconsistent and
I
not
am telling
credible.
the truth, I swear to God. And I can also verify all that with the Southern District.
But what you can't do, what you simply cannot do, is say that you made the calls that are listed in this document.
No, I
These
cannot.
are not you, and that was the only question.
All right.
These are not your calls. These are calls from persons who are either bothered by what's going on or concerned about what might be going on, or what might be about to happen.
I just want to go on record for saying that you have to use 911 when we call from the bar. There's no other way to call the Southern District. They will not answer the phone.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Any other question?
None.
All right, any other witnesses?
Yes, it would come Mr.
Go
Sanders,
ahead.
if possible.
He's already been sworn. State your name, please.
Colonel Sanders.
All right, your questions.
Mr. Sanders, you're the day-to-day manager of the bar, is that correct?
Yes, I make sure we have enough food and liquor.
Could you just stand up talking to the microphone, please?
Yes, I make sure we have enough food and liquor to get through the night. I usually leave around, maybe 7 o'clock. I was working in Washington DC up until, March the 14th, so.
Of what year?
This year, this past 2014. I was working for Friendship Public Charter Schools as a network engineer, so I had really late nights. I would take care of the restaurant before I go to work for us, liquor and food. I'll go to work, and then I'll come home, and I'll stay at the bar for maybe an hour to make sure they were good.
Mr. Sanders, after you received the violations in February and March, within a couple weeks of each other, any sort of things that had been causing problems, you guys ceased to do, correct?
Yeah, we had a lot of problems, the way the bar was ran with the staff. We completely changed over the staff, even security. Security was, they wasn't certified. We ended up getting certified, security people. And that made the situation a whole lot better.
Since your violation for live entertainment in March, you haven't had live entertainment since then, correct?
No, we just,
And you're aware that you don't have live entertainment on the license, correct?
yes, sir,
So that's one of the reasons you don't have live entertainment anymore.
yes.
Prior to that time, were you aware you weren't allowed to have live entertainment?
He kind of was up and down. I would say, yes.
Did you know that dancing was considered live entertainment?
Not at all.
And that's the live entertainment that you were found in violation?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And since that violation, you haven't had dancing, DJs, bands,
No,
any of that stuff?
no. Just music playing across the laptop through our system.
Have you had any reports from neighbors, neighbor associations, anything of that nature since that March date?
No,
So they've had no complaints to your knowledge since March?
not one.
I have no further questions for you, Mr. Sanders.
All right, commissioners,
Nothing.
No questions.
or anything else?
Sure. I just have to state that these gentlemen are somewhat new to the industry. My understanding is there seems to be some sort of, there was some confusion as to what live entertainment was. And when they were found in violation of that in February and March, I believe it was 2 times they were found in violation. it ceased entirely. They changed staff, because staff seems to be one of the issues that was causing the problem. And since that date, there have been no issues. There seems to be one instance where a car where we can't identify the driver or the owner of the vehicle being associated with the bar in any way besides being on a public street near the bar. But beyond the one possible instance of a loud car, there seems to have been no issues at all. The bar indicates that they haven't heard any issues from the neighbors, neighbor associations, anyone complaining at all. But my understanding is they have, whatever issues they had in the past, they have resolved them. There aren't any more problems. It is my understanding, having discussed this with the gentleman, based on the previous violations and based on neighborhood complaints, they're trying to seek a different location with this license so that there are no further issues in this neighborhood and no more problems. They do understand the community's concerns. While I believe some of the neighborhood's concerns are unrelated to the bar and are related to other issues, I do understand and respect the neighbors' concerns. But I do believe any issues that they've had have passed. The license has been renewed, and I believe they should keep their license.
All right, the time for decision. I will admit that this is not the easiest decision that I've ever had to make. The whole point, of course, is that the liquor board is responsible for the regulation of the privilege of dispensing alcohol. And the question here shows that this dispenser was knowingly violating the law for a long period of time, and it wasn't until the liquor board, apparently itself, actually violated him that there was any improvement. But the improvement wasn't total, which means that a neighborhood actually has to be terrorized and required to come down before the liquor board to testify. Now, in this particular case, I've granted a motion for reconsideration of the right of this license to continue after the last hearing with respect to the same issues that are before us today, because the liquor board ruled that there were 7 people were inadequate to form a complaining group, which I've held legally is totally out of order. So the question is, was the prior order proper with respect to the fact that the requirement of 10 people within 200 feet, which was the basis of the prior order, and since I've held that that order is out the window, the question now is, should the license have been renewed? Now, there's been testimony about the conduct of the licensees since the last hearing with respect to the liquor board itself giving punishment. And should this be enough? Should this be enough to excuse the fact that the neighborhood is terrorized for a long period of time and having to come down before the liquor board, get inspectors, because there's absolutely no question that what was going on was something that nobody can live with. There isn't a soul in this room that could live with what was happening with respect to this bar during the period of time that the complainants have shown. And your witness, your testimony, ma'am, is most clear. It's therefore, based on this, that I feel that the community should not have to defend itself only after the total breakdown of law and order and proper operation, and have to come back in and then hope that the bar will not do it again, and after only a period of several months of conduct, be sufficient to allow the license to carry on. So therefore, I vote based upon this and all the testimony that's come before me, which I believe, and I also rule that the loud noises and everything that I saw in the videos, I find credible, more than beyond a reasonable doubt, and also to more than sufficient evidence to be found to be competent. I find the evidence is competent to show that this bar was a total, utter disgrace in the way it was being operated before the prior hearing, and therefore I find that the bar should be closed permanently.
I concur.
In alignment with what the past board decided, and maybe not in alignment, but what the past board decided to make a decision on was based on what 2B allowed us to make decisions on. We can only work with what is given to us. And what was given to us was 10 people within 200 feet. So the decision was based on that. 2B, we don't have the authority to make rules as we go along. We have to abide by what is given to us to make decisions on. If what the chair is saying now is that the 200 feet rule is out, and if that is legal, and he has the authority to do that, and based on the information displayed here, I would say that this community has suffered a lot because this time we were able to listen to the case, and we have listened to the cries of the community. The severity that the chair spoke of, I saw some challenging things in the video. I saw noise. I mean, I saw people crowded in the street, sidewalks. I heard the noise. And I didn't see any control or anyone that I could recognize as an employee of the establishment trying to assist and get the crowd out. I did hear some testimony that after the violation charge that came before us, and I think it was March, if I'm not mistaken, then the bar itself straightened up somewhat. To straighten up sometimes at the 12th hour or the 11th hour, it's not enough. You gotta have it part of how your protocol and how you operate. And unfortunately, I'm gonna have to concur that this bar does need severe penalty. And if closure is that severe penalty, then that's what I elect to vote on.
You have our decision, sir.
Thank you.
All right, and this liquor board will stand adjourned. Good.
Effective immediately, right?
I am out of here, folks. This is mine, right?
Let me go